Hey girl, hey.
Hey, boo.
How are you?
I listen. Every time you ask, I don't know what the fuck is going on, but every time you ask how I'm doing, I want to say that I'm crying on the inside. But for
Oh
the podcast, we're gonna keep it cute.
no. I'm
How,
here.
how are you?
Tired. I feel like that's
Me
my
as well.
answer every time too. Every time I'm tired, every time you're like, I'm here. Like we are making it.
Ditto.
We made it for y'all because let me tell you something. I'm sure me and Shay would rather be on the fucking couch looking like bums. Um,
Honey.
because look, it's a struggle. You see, we was missing in action last week on Clubhouse, so we definitely apologize. But honey, life was lifing, and we definitely needed a break, and we weren't able to mosey on and onto the Clubhouse. But we're here. We're here for the podcast. Okay.
We are, and I would like credit for that because we were looking a little shaky in 2020. We would just pod when the feeling was right. So here we are.
For sure, like we're here for the pod. We missed the Clubhouse. That's extracurricular activities, even though it's lit extracurricular activities. That's our first Clubhouse that we missed, but we here. So anyway, what was going on this weekend? What did you get into over the weekend, if anything?
Well, the weekend, not this past weekend, but the weekend beforehand was my anniversary, and my husband upgraded my ring. It's so beautiful.
It's lit,
However,
y'all.
I had to get it resized today, and I just want to put this out there. So my old ring size was a 7, but
Uh-huh.
now it is a 5.5. I said, look at
Skinny
a bitch getting dainty in the fingers.
bitches. Dainty.
Dainty.
Get it. Come through.
This
Slim,
stomach is still a
slim time.
7.
That's what's up.
I want my stomach to be a 5.5 and not a 7, but
Look, let me
I
tell you
will take
something.
what I can get.
Look, that's lit. I want a dainty waist.
And the other thing is, I was in charge of the anniversary because my husband tends to go for broke to get me gifts, and it's annoying because we have goals. Like I really wasn't expecting this ring. Like I did want to upgrade, no shade, to the ring he gave me at first, but we have goals right now. So I was thinking like on our 10-year anniversary or something like
Right.
that. Child. So I was like, so no, Mara actually said y'all should alternate who does the anniversaries because I guess that's what lesbians do. So, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. Um, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna be in charge of the anniversary, and I hired a private chef. I have to shout her out again, Chef Dro, in the 757. Sis came prepared. Now she was expensive, and I was hoping that the quality of food was going to match the price. But it wasn't even just the quality, the size. Like I got two entrees for us a piece because I saw like lobster tail, for example, and I thought it was going to be them little lobster tail like you get at
Yeah,
like
and you
Red
still be
Lobster or some
hungry
shit.
and shit. Yeah.
So I was like, no, I want the stuffed sea bass and the lobster tail. When I tell you that I had to eat my food over 3 days.
Oh wow. So you had leftovers.
Dog, the size of the fish was humongous.
Oh
Like
my goodness.
then we had broccolini, not broccoli, but
I love
broccolini.
broccolini. That's some fancy shit,
Broccolini is
honey.
so good.
It's
So
so lit.
Joe thinks that I'm extra when I'm like I would actually prefer broccolini now. I mean broccoli is more convenient, but if it's
Broccolini is fancy. You better take your ass to Wegmans and get you some fucking broccolini, babe.
that part, that part. Girl, she had this seafood macaroni and cheese. Then we had this Hennessy pound cake, and that
Hennessy
Hennessy.
pound cake. You speaking to my heart, girl.
I am going. You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna order some, and I'm gonna bring you some. It's
Jesus.
so good. I'm not even. I actually didn't want to gas her up. I wanted to be able to. I wanted to be like, what the fuck I spent all this money for? But I told her, I said, when I showed her on Instagram, I was like, bitch, you can take my money whenever you want. Like,
Look, you are well worth the coins.
let me
Okay.
know.
Make it rain on her ass at the next function. Wait
Oh,
till
that
COVID over. We gonna be extra as fuck being like, let's just have a fucking dinner party down your spot. Like we can
my
put
nigga. You know what we're talking about doing?
What?
Even though I don't want to do it with his friends because his friends are the people he works with and they're like 21 years old.
We
But
got young friends.
I want to I want to have a wine tasting at my house.
I'm down for that.
Yeah. But it's going to have to be either my friends or his friends. I don't feel like it'll be a good mix.
You really? You don't think we would mix?
His friends, this is the Navy.
Mhm.
Like one of his friends said I was hood. And I was just like, really? Me?
Like
I
now in this age, in this year? Like no.
I was just like, I could definitely, I hood adjacent is amazing, but hood, like, I don't
Yeah.
know. But no, they're really just really young. Like, they're
Mm.
really young. Like 21. I'm not exaggerating when I say 21.
Like just being able to drink type young. Yikes.
And so they like to get, I mean, we all like to get fucked. We all
I
like to,
was say we all get. That's why I was like, because if they like to get fucked up, like I feel like we will all get along, regardless of age. And if they say something dumb, we're going to call them out. They probably will be. They will probably be shocked that people of our age still turn up and probably out turn up them, if that makes sense.
maybe that's what it would be. I don't know. Excuse me, but I think I want to have like a wine tasting.
I'll be there. It's
And
gonna be
then
post COVID, right?
when is post COVID going to be?
Post COVID is gonna be when the fuck I feel comfortable with the word. Like I don't know, bro.
That's
I
what
just
I'm saying. Post COVID, it's already post COVID for so many different people. Niggas is getting vaccines that said they wasn't going to get the vaccine. And my good sis Dice is stuck. She said she's not doing it
y'all. Let
and
me tell
she's
y'all
still not going
something.
outside.
I know y'all gonna hit me up in my DMs and everything, but like I'm not taking this vaccine. And the crazy thing is, my husband turned on some. It wasn't really a documentary. It was kind of like a news short type thing, and they were talking about the vaccine and stuff like that, and how so many people are leery on taking it, and the history of that, and how this one has is how basically it serves its purpose. It's really good at serving its purpose. It's not to cure COVID. It's not to keep you from catching COVID. That's not what this vaccine is for. It's to, when you catch COVID, you won't die. So it's saying that you won't catch COVID, but it would be lessening the symptoms if you were like to guarantee your symptoms won't kill you and you won't be like on a ventilator, like clinging on to life. Like it would be more like either for some people a cold or some people like a mild flu type
Mm-hmm.
symptoms. So they're saying as far as those, it serves its purpose. But I'm just waiting for something so that I don't catch it at all. Like I don't want to be sick at all. And
No,
I don't
I
want to see
feel
anybody.
you. I feel you. My job is on some bullshit, but not just that, but our friend, Mr. Was he Coffee?
Coffee. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Coffee. Are we sure? So what was
No,
the other
Duncan.
person?
Duncan.
Duncan, yes. Duncan got it again. And Duncan got it again and it came with a vengeance. And while he didn't have symptoms the first go round, I did. And I can't imagine it being worse.
Yeah. Because you
So
were in a lot of pain and stuff. I remember how you was telling us, like you was out for the count, honey.
I'm just like, I'm still weighing my options, but I'm not gonna lie. I feel better about it than I did a month ago. And I probably am going to get it because I have a vacation that's paid for and I'm going to Mexico in August and I don't care. Like, suck my
The
dick.
crazy thing is like literally 80% of my friends either have taken the vaccine or are saying that once they get the opportunity, they will take the vaccine.
That's I'm tired of being in the house. It's driving me crazy.
I'm tired of being in the house too, but like I don't know. Like I'm trying. It's going to take some time for me to trust it because I'm such a conspiracy theorist. I'm so extra. I don't know. In my mind, I'm just like, well, nigga, if I just stay in the house, I won't have to take this fucking vaccine. But nigga, I'm going to want to do some shit this spring and this summer or this fall. Like, I'm going to have another birthday rolling around where I'm sitting my ass on the fucking couch and like, that's depressing. So I would love to take this, but the fact that this isn't something that's going to keep me from catching COVID, and I could still take this shit and be frolicking and catch COVID. Like, just, I don't know. Like, I don't want to gamble with it and be like, I might be one of those people who don't get symptoms, but I could be one of the motherfuckers who lose their fucking life. So it's like, you can't predict how you would be if you were to catch COVID. So I want to just be like, I'm just gonna roll the dice, which sounds dumb as shit, obviously. But I don't know. Like, right now, I'm just like, I'm just gonna mask it up and just stay my ass in the house till I feel comfortable with like doing it. My mom asked, and I was like, no, just sit your ass down and you'll be fine. Like, you don't need it. Like, sit your ass down. But I don't know.
I feel like a lot of people that are getting the vaccine though are not being responsible with it.
What do you
Like,
mean?
because you can still get it, which means you can still transmit it. So getting a
Okay.
vaccine doesn't mean that you can go out and just start wilding. Like, you still have to follow all the protocols. You still need to wash your little nasty ass hands, wear a mask, all that good stuff. So with some people, I feel like the CDC literally says you really shouldn't hang out with unvaccinated people if you're vaccinated, because you may have it and not knowing, then you're putting those people at risk. So
That's true. That is true. Because if you have the vaccine, you're gonna feel more comfortable with being like, well, I cannot wear my mask here. Or I'm cool with going here because like if I get sick, it ain't gonna be bad. At least I know I'm not gonna die. And then you hanging around my ass who ain't got no vaccine, and then my ass gonna die. So I 100% get that. Like,
my daughter's father and his wife are vaccinated, and they went to Miami this past weekend. And I
they
was
was
like,
down there with the nigglets, turning the fuck up down there with not a mask in sight.
and I want to judge him for it, but he ain't my nigga, so
Listen,
it's
first
gonna
of
be
all, we
me in
too old to be
August.
down in Miami for spring break. That's number one.
That was my thing. I was like, sir, what are you doing?
We
Why
are
are you
past that
there
age
this
bracket.
weekend?
Right. Of all the weekends, like you're going down there during spring break with all these like teens and 20-year-olds, like the same ones who spread it down in Florida in the beginning of COVID.
That's my thing. I didn't understand that, but listen, I get it. People need breaks, and maybe that's Miami was in the budget and it's warm enough for them to have fun. I don't know. I don't know what the mindset was at doing that, but he
Right.
surely was down there.
Ooh, I want to travel so bad. Like I would love to feel some sand under my feet. I would love to see some clear water, us getting fucked up around people that don't speak English. Like that just sounds amazing. But I'm still shook. 2020 has done a number on my confidence with the world. And I'm just like, I'm just gonna stay right on here in my little humble abode and I'll venture out when need be. But I want to get to the point where I feel comfortable like everybody else to be like, fuck it, I'm just gonna get this vaccine and then like live a more fun life. But I'm so not there yet, y'all. Like, bear with me. But right
I'm
now
there.
it's a no for me. But and it don't help that my job is just like we're not even revisiting until the end of April if we're going to start bringing people into the office. And even when we do decide who's coming to office, y'all niggas more than likely won't be in the office. They're saying in the foreseeable future, no one will be coming in the office Monday through Friday. So if you do, it might be for like a day or two.
Right.
So, and they're like, in your team, you really don't even need to come in here, Dice. So, like, you might come here for me, we might just fucking teleconference you. And, like, you might not even need to come in the fucking office to do your duties. So, it's like in my mind, I'm like, well, I don't even need to be around niggas like that. I could just stay home and then, like, we can ride this shit out until, like, COVID decides to take her bald headed ass the fuck up out of here. But
My job is not doing that. My
a lot
job
of
is like
people's jobs are not. They calling people to fuck in, honey.
it's not even about being in office. My job is sending us on planes to go and do inspections, and they're telling people that we can't make you get a vaccine. However, if you're not vaccinated, you can't travel. And that's literally my job. That's like 90 something percent of my job. So it's like, so what am I doing then?
Right. So what am I going to be able to do then?
What's
Like,
my performance appraisal going to look like
if
I
I
don't do
didn't.
this?
Exactly.
So it's a lot of different factors, but whatever.
Child, look, y'all, at the end of the day, y'all just be safe out there. Do what's best for y'all. If y'all need to take these vaccines, go ahead and do it if it's available. I'm not sure. I think right now it's for the older people, those who are living in like group home, not group homes. I always say that. And like nursing homes. Then I think starting in April, what was it starting this month? I know like teachers and school staff and stuff like that, they're able to start getting the vaccine. But once it's starting to be available to like us common folks that are just sitting home or maybe like certain job, go ahead and get it. If it's going to help you keep your job or make you feel more comfortable interacting with these folks, because honey, you're gonna have to save yourself because they ain't gonna look out for your ass out there. They're gonna be just a fucking coffin. So do what y'all gotta do, and Dice gonna try to keep it as safe as possible over here. I'm gonna try, y'all. I've been doing good, knock on wood. Been knocking on wood. Nobody over here has caught it. I've been trying to keep the fucking sanitizer. I went into a fucking grocery store today, had to take my mom to the grocery store, and saw a fucking aisle of Lysol. This is my first time seeing Lysol on a shelf in a year. So definitely you could only get two. So both of them are hers because you got me mine. So I didn't need anything. They were like the smaller cans. But so I got her two. Then we went to go get some clothing detergent, or to wash her clothes. And they had Lysol wipes. You can only get one of them. I said, we're getting you one of these too, bitch. Like, we're gonna put this in your house, and like, yeah, we're gonna keep you safe. Who needs a vaccine? We have Lysol now. Like, just spray niggas' mouths when they walk in the house. Just like, let me stop. Don't listen to me, y'all. I'm being ignorant. But yeah, um, yeah, just be safe, y'all. I ain't no doctor. I don't work for CDC, so I don't listen to Dice. Do what's good for y'all. But anyhow, I didn't do nothing this week. I think we was talking about weekends. We went on such a tangent there, but I didn't. I don't think I did nothing this weekend. I yeah.
Probably did some cheer shit.
Look, good, bad, and release. Got something for y'all ass. But yeah,
Oh shit.
I'm actually coming prepared this week.
I was just thinking that, like, usually you don't have nothing. You
I'll
said
be
this.
trying to think
You
while you
got it.
talking. I'm like, I'm prepared now, honey. But yeah, so even rolling into the whole cheer and the pandemic, parenting during a pandemic, raising good humans during a fucking pandemic is not for the fucking. First of all, parenting outside of a pandemic is trash, but during a pandemic is doubly trash. And I am not trying to discourage anyone who, in the future, maybe they want to have kids or they don't have kids yet, or maybe they have a kid and would like multiple kids. This is not to serve as birth control, just a fair warning.
It should.
We are sharing our experiences, loves, because nigga, it's hard in these streets. For real, in real life. Y'all know, if y'all have been listening over the years, pretty much the ages of our kids. Shay has a teenager. Blessed be her name. Because look, I'm struggling with this 8 about to be 9-year-old. She turns 9 next month. And then I have this 4-year-old. So those are the ages of our kids. So it is like a nice spectrum of what we're dealing with during this pandemic. And it's had cute times and fun times and like, oh yeah, like more time with the family. But we've definitely both run into instances where we're just like, I can't take this shit no more. Like, who the fuck gonna come pick these kids up? Cause nigga, what the fuck?
I have the fortune of, it's not good for her, but her father and I are no longer together.
Mhm.
So unlike Dice, who has a beautiful two parent home, when I've had enough, I can drop that ass off.
Exit stage left. Because look, I can't. I'm stuck in this home because, as Shay said, we are a 2-parent household. So if these motherfuckers get on my nerves, the furthest I can go is my bedroom. I can't.
And they're gonna find you there.
And they're gonna hunt me the fuck down. They even know how to unlock doors. So I can't even lock doors anymore. Like literally, I
No
have to
more
make up an
locked
excuse.
doors.
No lock doors, mommy. What are you doing? Like I literally would have to like escape. Like I'm going to the grocery store or like go to my mama house. Like I have to go to my mama house and
Mm-mm.
and venture out into the COVID streets to get away from my children. Like, and you might ask, why the hell are Shay and Dice trying to get away from our kids? Because look, first of all, I'm not built to see these motherfuckers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That sounds horrible. That sounds super horrible for anyone who does not have children. For those who have children, you fucking feel me. Ever since I became a mom, outside of maternity leave, I got a break from them. I got to go to work for 8 to 9 hours and did not see them. Absence make the heart grow fonder, and it made the weekends so much more joyful to spend family time. But when you are in the house with them, from the moment you open your eyes to the moment you are putting their little asses in the bed and the weekends, there's no absence, or at least the absence aren't
None.
long enough.
To make
So
my heart fonder.
my heart is getting hard and cold. I got an ice box where my heart used to be, a Marion voice, because
I Are your kids eating you out of a house and a home?
they started that at the beginning of the quarantine, and we are a year in. The 4 year
Child.
old eats like he's 14.
Child.
Like, y'all was not eating like this when school was in session. Like, literally, you had your morning snack because my daughter went to before and after care. So they gave her a morning snack. Then she had like an actual breakfast when school started. Like it was like cereal or something random like that. You wasn't getting waffles and bacon and strawberries, like
Waffle. I was gonna say with strawberries.
and whipped cream,
Sis is
honey,
fancy.
and milk. Child, you was getting that cereal and that milk, and then you get a lunch. Then in your afternoon aftercare, you got an afternoon snack. Then you will come home. You might get chips, some juice or something to hold you over, and then dinner, and that's it. No, no, no. These kids now, they will have a big breakfast. Then they will have another snack. Then they want a big lunch. Then they want another snack. And then another snack. And then some more juice. And then another snack. And then dinner. And then can I have
And
some
then a
candy?
snack.
You're just like, who's paying for this shit? Like, what is going on? They they eat so
When
much.
your kids become teenagers, are they gonna have to still ask you to get a snack?
They don't ask me no more. Even the 4 year old goes in the pantry and gets his own goddamn shit.
Oh,
They have
oh shit.
look. Absence also breeds respect. They don't respect my ass. Then I tell you something. When I talk to them in a calm voice and be like, "Don't do that. Stop it."
Dog.
It's
Dog.
like they don't take me serious if I'm like, and I would have a serious space and be like, "No, seriously, don't do that. You need to do X, Y, and Z and go upstairs." They would look at me with a blank stare, like I just spoke another language. Like,
I'll
what?
let you hulk out.
I'd be like, I fucking let me Kirk Franklin on niggas, and then
We want to get there.
they be like, oh, okay, so you said don't do that and go. I got it. Why?
I didn't realize that they were no longer asking for snacks because I remember Little Saint would ask, and so would Miss Kylie.
Little
But this
Saint.
teenager that I have,
Oh, I know she just like,
I
where
went
the
in her
snacks and shit.
bedroom, and her trash can that's in there, it's filled with Rice Krispie treat wrappers and fruit snack wrappers. The other day, I counted how many snacks she had. I had to tell her because she was on her way to get her fifth snack in like a 4 hour period or something. I was like, "So you're not about to eat that? So you can go ahead and put that back." What do you mean? I was like, "Dinner. Dinner is happening
Okay.
in like less than an hour. Go sit your ass down." I'm
Right.
hungry. How are you hungry when you had two Uncrustables, a Pop Tart, fruit snacks, and a Rice Krispie treat?
Dog, I would be full as hell.
There's so many snacks.
I had to fuss at this 8 year old. I said, you are eating more than two grown ass adults that are in
Makes
this
no
house.
sense.
They will have had 4 meals by the time we had breakfast.
Yes.
And we're grown and paying for the food. And I'm just like,
Yes.
so fucking confused. how this is happening. Y'all not putting in on shit. The little one Kirks when you tell him no, you can't have any food today because someone was here. We actually had a visitor, and they show the fuck out when people come by, especially now because during COVID nobody comes by. So oh Lord, there's someone else's face like, let's turn the fuck up. Like literally went in the pantry, got his own Kool-Aid sip up thingy, then drank that and was about to take his little narrow ass back in there and get another one. I said, excuse me, sir, what are you doing? I'm getting more cherry juice. I said, your punk ass has had cherry juice for 5 minutes. I felt like Bernie Mac. Like, I really felt like Bernie Mac during his skit. I'm like, I told you, punk ass. You're not getting the fucking... No, I was just like, how are you this thirsty? Like, literally, he drinks, eats. Like, I don't... And we're not starving them. So I don't want y'all to think that we're starving our children. We are feeding them just fine. They are just bored and they're starting to eat out of boredom. And my pockets ain't supporting that. I refuse.
I am going to stop buying. Well, I already stopped buying certain snacks, but I'm doing it slowly but surely. So I'm not getting rid of all of them, but like I stopped getting one thing and I got some fruit cups. Them fruit cups be lasting, honey. The fruit cups
Because she
been
rather
lasting a
had a
long
bad
time.
stuff.
That's okay. I'm going to find some more alternatives for these things, and slowly but surely they're going to go.
Look, take
Because
away
I
the potato chips and
realized,
put like popcorn or something like that. Like do healthier options, you mean?
because I'm realizing it's the sugar that's in these snacks. It's not the snacks themselves, because she was like, "Oh, I want some more fruit." So I bought fruit. I'm the one that eats up the fruit. So it's not she's just addicted to that artificial sugar, and we're not doing that. So
I will say sugar is a drug, honey. They say it's just like a drug. You be addicted to sugar. I just yeah. I help. This is
so
our
I
smoke signal.
I'm in I have a teenager, and it's just a little different. I miss Little Saint age. I really do, because I'm getting I'm getting questioned about everything. It's like a challenge. I won't say a question, it's a challenge for everything. Well, why can't I eat this snack? You got such and such snack. Because I fucking paid for it and I said so. Like, what the fuck are you? I commend stay-at-home moms. I commend everybody that is like, oh, I'm so close to my family now that we've been home for a year. I am losing my fucking shit. I want the fuck out of this house. My kid in these teenage years, it's like she turned 13 and literally hell opened up into my home.
Oh no.
I'm literally visualizing like a hole and fire going and filling in my house. It is awful. It is awful.
Oh no.
I love my child so much. But some days I feel like she wants me to not like her.
Mm.
I'm not saying that I don't. I'm saying I feel like she wants me. I feel like here's the edge, and she's trying to kick me over the edge.
Like
I have had to leave. I have had to have her leave. We've had to have separation. The teenagers are not for me. I don't want them. I don't like them. Every now and then I get this little itch for a kid, a baby, because I love babies. I love kids until they're about 6. Then they start feeling themselves, and I'm like over them. Um, Love it, love it, love it. And there's all my friends are having babies. My sister-in-law's having one. My friend in North Carolina, like so many people. Jesus, teenage years, it's too much. And TikTok, while I finally downloaded it and I enjoy it so much, TikTok is absolutely the devil and it's doing the most. And Amara knows way too much shit, and it's a direct result of TikTok.
that is so true. and I have an 8-year-old, and it's the same with her. Like literally, I was talking to a friend, and we were talking about how our daughters are approaching the period age. So we would need to start informing them of what it means, like, how to use certain items and like have them available in case you never know. Like, it could be this year, it could be in 2 years, but just have that talk so they feel comfortable when it happens and they don't necessarily freak out as much as you can contain it. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to test Bay and see like how much she knows or what she knows. So we're at the grocery store like a week or so ago, and we walked down the feminine product aisle. So I say, do you know what these are? And she was like, oh, those are like adult diapers. And so I was like, adult diapers? And she was like, yeah, kind of like what Pop Pop needs. Like, if you, I was like, no, 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 you're thinking about Depends. Like, I was like, these aren't Depends or whatever. I said, these are like tampons and pads. And she was like, oh, she was like, yeah, I've heard of those. And I was like, do you know what they're for? And she was kind of like thinking. I said, well, let me ask, like, do you know, like, if you heard of like menstruation or your period and cycle and stuff? She was like, yeah. So yeah, I know what that is. And I was like, what is it? Because in my mind, I was like, her ass about to give me some
Right.
excuse. Sis says, so it's like for some people when you get a certain age and it's like you bleed, but it's not all the time. It's only once a month. And like sometimes you're really cranky, but like sometimes you're like hungry too. And I was like, flag on the play. I said, how do you know all of this? You know her answer? TikTok. I said, how? I said, what we no, I said, what were you searching to get this information? Because like, were you looking for this information? Like, why didn't you come to me? She said no. She saw a video where it was a joke where a guy was saying that like his girl was PMSing because she was on her period, and when she acts crazy, he got to get out of there. So you know how sometimes when people put their captions, they hashtag stuff. So they hashtag period. And so she was confused because she was like PMS in it, period. Like, so she clicked on the hashtag, which took her to other TikToks, and she
Yep.
clicked on one that it was like a medical joint that like actually explained like what menstruation was. And I was like, the amount of information that these kids have at their fucking fingertips, I'm like, I can't get ahead of shit. Like, I'm up here trying to be a good parent and have a teaching moment, and sis is like, no, ma'am, I already know. So fuck TikTok.
Fortunately for me, before TikTok was TikTok, it was Musically, and Musically was just doing the little dances or mouthing the words type of thing. So when Mara was her age, I think it was still Musically, and I was able to get ahead of the period talk. And we actually, I think I said this on the podcast, like we went and we brought pads, we took them home, I showed her how to put them on, and glad I did because like 4 months later, on Father's Day, she was in this bitch. Not even 10 yet. But now it's like she'll say little slick shit, and I'm like it's just she's just really grown. Like the things that she says, and it's TikTok, and I'll ask her like where she heard that from, or like why she thinks that's appropriate to say around me, because it's not the thing with some of the things she watches on TikTok. It may not be cursing, but it's like
It's slick stuff, like
it's
little.
yeah, you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's like you can't say whatever you want to say around me. That's not. I don't like TikTok. It's too much.
It's too much
My
information. Like, it really is.
my child has a burner Instagram account that I guess she didn't think I was gonna fucking find out about. Fuck out of here. And yeah. So I go on there. She likes to repost some of her funny the TikToks she finds hilarious. And I was like, Amara, could you put this on your regular Instagram page? Could you say any of these things around me?
Mm.
Why do you think that it's acceptable to be on this account? Why?
Right.
And that's the issue. I done already let her have the Instagram app. So it's nothing to add a different account. You can have multiple accounts under,
I'm on TikTok, honey. Kylie got like 3 because now it's a thing where you and your friends have accounts
I
together.
didn't know that you can have a separate account on TikTok.
You can have multiple accounts on TikTok. And just like how on Instagram,
Mm.
you can go in and like access it in the same app. Because like I said, my daughter, her friends have one where they do like Roblox videos and they do edits and stuff. And like all of them have the password. So they all log in and like post different stuff. But that group page is public. So I have to remind my daughter, when you're posting your videos on that group account, please don't put nothing crazy. Your other page is private, so I feel more comfortable with that. Like I let you kind of post, and I review it afterwards. But this one, don't go crazy because it's still public, even though it's not your account. Your face is still on some of these videos that are not like the Roblox editing ones. So yeah, you definitely could sign up for different ones. All you need is a damn email address.
Well, I don't follow her on TikTok. I literally just downloaded the app 2 weeks ago, and I don't even try to go on there too much because I see now that it's really easy to end up on TikTok for like an hour or two.
You can go
Like
down a whole rabbit hole like
it's
easy.
horrible. But the good thing, I guess, I will say about Mara is that her main account and her burner account are private.
Okay.
But what I have to explain to her is, although it's private, all these people are not your friends. You
Yes.
could know 500 people, and there's probably only like three that really fuck with you. And to her, that sounds dramatic, but it is the truth.
The truth,
So
for
I'm
sure.
like, Amara, you're putting certain things on the internet. For example, she has sisters, not through me because my coochie's closed, but she has other siblings. And so I'm not crazy. I know based on the TikTok dances that girls that are between her age and her sibling is older, they probably are twerking a little bit. I don't want to see that shit.
Mm-mm.
The internet doesn't need to see that shit. So on her burner account, it's not her twerking, but it's her standing while her sister twerks on some like da, 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 like how we would do if we was in
If we
a
was in a
club.
club, right?
And so what I'm trying to explain to her is everybody on the internet is not your friend, and the screen record is real.
So easy, and everybody
Stop.
looks at these videos.
Yes, stop putting stuff on the internet because one day you're not going to be 13. One day she's not going to be 16. And y'all
Hmm.
don't need to have everything out there. You don't need to Why do you need to repost your favorite TikToks on
On
Instagram? I thought
Instagram.
the point was just to like them on TikTok. Can you repost them on TikTok?
No, not your own, but you can. I think you can. Can you repost other people's? I know you can react to other people's TikTok and
You
post
can
it on your
react to
page.
them, but I'm just like, just like them.
Yeah,
Why do you have to post them? So she reposted some TikToks that I didn't feel like were appropriate. And she was like, but I didn't say it. If I go on Twitter and I retweet something that somebody said,
it's just
the
like you're
idea
agreeing.
that,
They do it all the time with celebrities, and they crucify them just because like somebody will say something they didn't say it, but they just retweet the person, and they're like, oh, well, they obviously agreeing with this shit because they, you know, retweeted it. So
so some people will argue, because I have a lot to, ooh, I'm trying to pace myself before I start cussing people out. Some people argue that the issue is that we, not as you and me, but we as a collective,
society.
we have made our children iPad children. We just basically are like, here's your iPad, here's your phone, get out my face, be done. I have noticed that a lot of people that say stupid shit like this have no kids. Um, so I have my thoughts on that, but I'll cut you guys out later. Uh, but I feel like that's not fair because we're in a different environment. Again, if this was pre-COVID, our children would not be on their iPads and their phones all day. They would be at
Exactly.
school.
They wouldn't
They
even
would
be
be learning.
home this much.
Thank you. And then when we all got home, because we haven't seen each other all day, we would love on our children. And,
Catch up
oh my
and talk
gosh,
and
well, how
play.
was your day? Mom, let me get a kiss. Let me get a hug. And then we would probably, make sure you do your homework. And then it would probably be
And then
like,
it would be screen time or whatever,
yes.
iPad or TV or whatever.
But what the fuck you think I'm supposed to do all day? Talk to
And
this
we're
motherfucker all
working.
day.
And we're working.
Thank you. I don't like to talk to the people at work all day. I don't like to talk to my mama all day. I don't like to. What the fuck am I supposed to do?
I am working a full-time job and I have a 4-year-old. Do you think that he's not on his iPad majority of my work shift? And if he's not on his iPad because it dies, that he's not watching television? He is. He's not up there the whole time, but he is definitely spending majority of that time. I used to feel super fucking bad about that, but I have recently had to come to the conclusion that like it's no such thing as perfect parenting no more. Not during a pandemic. No perfect pandemic
Especially not
parenting.
through a pandemic,
It's
though.
no way that I can sit up here and be like, we're only restricting your screen time to 2 hours a day, especially when they're on the fucking computer for about 6 hours a day. So it's just like they're not going to be in school all day. And then after they do their homework and stuff, and they're like, well, I want to talk to my friends. Normally, if they would have been going to school, they would have had their social time in school. But
Mm-hmm.
the way that they talk to their friends is either text or FaceTime. So it's like that requires screen time because my daughter doesn't have a phone. So she, on her iPad, talks to them on FaceTime. So that's her social time, when she's not at practice, which technically isn't social time because they don't get to like really talk. But we're doing what the fuck we can, the best that
My
we can.
my daughter, I didn't let her get an iPad until I want to say it was her 8th birthday, just because I knew once I opened that door, and it's been downhill ever since, So I get it. Like, a lot of kids have, like, she was one of the last kids that had an iPad or like one of those
A
devices at that
device.
time.
Hmm.
And we weren't going to let her get any social media until her 13th birthday, but because of the pandemic we let her get it like 3 months prior to, because it honestly was just like, sis, I don't know what you can do all day, because from this time I got to pretend to work, sometimes I actually have work,
Right.
like I don't know. And then at that time, I mean, outside was super closed, so it wasn't even
Yeah. It
like,
wasn't like go outside and hang out or something. It's like it's nothing
yeah.
to do.
Um, it's a lot, but I just, because I really want to cut y'all out, so I'm just going to skip on ahead to the Kirk Franklin piece. This Kirk Franklin, because we're still talking about parenting. This Kirk Franklin story, it really, I was conflicted on some things, but I really think that a lot of you guys can suck my dick, because it turned into this whole thing about like parents, we're abusive to our kids, like verbally. And I got a 13-year-old baby, and I could tell you, I don't know nothing about that. I don't know what the fuck y'all talking about. Dice said earlier, you can be as calm as motherfucking, you could be cool, you could
You
be
could be
level
Mother
headed.
Teresa out this piece. And look.
These kids don't listen. And it's not just us, because I have other friends with kids. These motherfuckers don't listen. I do not enjoy cursing at my child. I really
Right.
don't.
All right.
I don't like to do it. But if I have to tell you something 5 times, and for me, I choose violence. So I'm either gonna knock your head off, or I'm gonna cuss you the fuck out. And y'all motherfuckers on the internet, especially you niggas with no fucking kids, I don't know which option y'all want me to do. Because I
Right.
can't be Mary Poppins all day long and I'm not being heard. And then when I say, the better option here is to not smack her in the face, is to just cuss her the fuck out.
Mhm.
I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something, especially with this Kirk Franklin thing, because his son is 33 fucking years old. He's a grown whole ass man. Not just that, but he was cussing at his father as well.
And
And
being
my
disrespectful
ass
as fuck.
is about the same age as him. And I barely cuss around my kids. And I
Exactly.
mean, around my
My
parents.
parents. Hmm.
And I've never cussed at my parents.
Right.
I've
Never.
hung up on my dad once because he pissed me off and I was about to cuss him the fuck out. And so
Right.
my option was, again, choosing violence. I'm either going to cuss my dad out, and I have respect for him. So let me just hang up the phone, because
Right.
this is not going to go good. I definitely feel like there are some people that talk down on their kids. I feel like verbal abuse There is a form of verbal
Yeah, there is
abuse,
a thing.
but I feel like go sit the fuck down, cry me a fucking river. I don't feel
Right.
like that's fucking verbal abuse. If I
Right.
ask you to sit down, and you're not sitting down, and then I turn around and say, go sit the fuck down,
Right. You get action then.
niggas is sitting down. But I can't with the internet. Like I'm usually the PC person on this podcast, and I'm like, well, let's see, maybe. Da, 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 da. But you guys are bitches. The internet is full of bitches. You guys are full of bitches.
Come on to the dark
Um,
side, Shay.
no, because it's so frustrating. Because I'm a parent, I'm very passionate about this shit because we have had moments privately where we felt like we weren't doing our job as moms.
For
And so
sure.
for people to get on, and I'm not saying that people that don't have kids can't have opinions because they were once kids. They
Right.
know how it feels as a kid. But it's just like every fucking thing. What the fuck can we do as parents? That's where I'm at with it. We can't
No,
fucking
no,
whoop our
no.
kids
You
anymore.
stop that.
What can we fucking do? We can't fucking whoop our kids.
Right.
That's fucking out because that's physical abuse. Now you're telling me I can't cuss at my kids. I have to be a conscious parent and have conversations with them. That's very fucking easy for people on the outside to feel like just because your raggedy fucking mama probably called you a bitch for no fucking reason doesn't mean that I'm doing that. I know that there's level 1, there's
Mhm.
level 5, and then there's level 10.
Right.
I'm annoyed. I'm over it. Parents are not gods.
For
Parents are
sure. We
fucking
are still
humans.
fucking humans, and some of us are still figuring this out. I've never had an 8-year old. I'm dealing. This is uncharted territory for me. So I'm trying to find my way. Yes, I've had a 4-year old before, but I've never had a 4-year-old boy. So it's uncharted territory for me. So
Right?
you gotta kind of, well, I need to just not give a fuck what y'all think. That's number one. Because I heard from the beginning, you never judge how somebody's raising their own fucking kid. That's their fucking business. I remember that before I even had children. Like, you might see something like, I wouldn't do that. But you know what? If it works for you and your kids, then who am I to judge? You just mind your fucking business. That's one thing. We have grown into a world of people that don't mind their own fucking business. That's number one. But I also was super annoyed online with this, and I definitely didn't put do not disturb. I was super
I didn't
annoyed
either.
because I keep getting messages. I'm like, shit. And I'm like a squirrel. I'm like, what the fuck? I can't focus. But yeah, I people that I actually genuinely love and like on social media and some of their posts during this whole Kirk Franklin thing, I just had to take a deep breath and swipe. Like, I love them and it doesn't change how I feel about them, but just some of their opinions, I was like, well, damn, I'm not going to tell y'all my feelings about this because y'all motherfuckers will fucking cancel me. Like, people were just like, those of us who didn't see a problem with how Kirk Franklin was talking to his son is obviously showing how we were raised in a toxic environment and made to think that that was okay, and how we're now just bringing on toxicity to our children, and it's going to be generational toxicity on how we're giving them verbal and mental abuse by talking to them as if they're slaves and cursing at them like they're adults and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, I listened to the video, I mean, to the recording of the Kirk Franklin thing. I also went to Kirk Franklin's son's social media. I also listened to Kirk Franklin's like statement or apology. I also went to this other page. Like, I went down this whole rabbit hole because apparently one of Kirk Franklin's friends or somebody else was on a call because everybody was like, who was that laughing? I actually went to that person's page and he had some stuff to say. Obviously, this is a whole, to me, this is a super instance of family business. Like, this shit should not have
Honestly.
even been fucking aired out. His son released the shit, and because he's a famous person, you know it's going, and
Christian
I was gonna
person.
say, and a Christian famous person, and they all, the Christians already wasn't fucking with Kirk. He had the bangers for the gospel, and they, oh no, you can't have a banger, it has to be a hymn. So they wasn't fucking with him off the rip. So now you got Kirk and this motherfucker cussing niggas out. But I just was annoyed, but because they kept saying how you treat your child, how you treat your children. And I'm like, this is a 33-year-old man who's cussing back at his father telling him to shut the fuck up and all this other stuff. And they're basically arguing about respect and how Kirk is like, you're disrespecting me and your step or your mom. I don't know if he was disrespecting his actual mom or Tammy,
It
Kirk's
was.
wife.
Oh,
And
okay.
I'm not sure who he the son was disrespecting, but he basically was
Mm-hmm.
like, you're being disrespectful to me and her. And like when I was so going down a rabbit hole, like all stuff, there's more audio. But of course,
Okay, I was going to ask if you heard more audio
I
than the me, because what I
I
heard.
didn't hear the whole like all the extra audio. Apparently, what was put out there, the son obviously edited because he wanted to put the bad part out there to be like, look, this motherfucker cussing me out. But apparently there was a part where their therapist was on the joint, like Kirk had three-way, I don't know if it's called three-way anymore, but put the, I'm old as fuck, put their therapist on the line because they had been going to family therapy because this is long like issues with like him and his son and trying to patch up their relationship and stuff like that. And so they said this has been going on since like his teenage years. So
Mhm.
they're like, this is something like we've been seeking counseling for. Like I've been trying to be able to control my reactions and like we're all trying to like figure out how to be a family unit again and that sort of thing. So it's like it was the therapist was on there at one point. It was one point where they were talking about how they were going to do better and talk more and stuff like that. And something happened on the call where it went left. I don't think the therapist was on the phone if I'm remembering what the other guy said, but he was on the phone, which I still don't understand how the friend got on the call because he was on the call because even the audio that they released when Kurt he
Mhm.
was in the background laughing and he said the reason why he laughed is because that he was trying to explain something to the 33-year-old son. I keep forgetting his name, so I'm gonna just say the son. He was trying to explain something to the son, and the son was acting like he didn't understand, and he was just like, "What I'm saying is blah 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 blah." And so the son was still acting like he didn't understand. And Kirk was like, well, how about if I said it like this, motherfucker, blah, 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 and was like spazzing. And he was like, some, shut the fuck up. So the whole shit blew up because he was like, the guy was saying Kurt was like feeling like the son was intentionally not really like kind of poking him type shit. Like, I don't understand what you're saying, like what you trying to say type shit. And then finally when the nigga gets fed up. Like he's at the end of the day, the nigga is not talking to a 13-year-old. He's not talking to a 3-year-old. He's talking to a grown ass fucking man that he feels is disrespecting him. Yes, it's his son, but it's still a grown ass man that should be respecting of someone that helped bring them to this earth. So yes, he's a Christian star, and I'm sure he has to apologize for his endorsements and shit like that. But I do not see anything that he did wrong. It was a private conversation. It's not like he was intentionally trying to belittle him in front of anybody. It was a private conversation that the son chose to air out for whatever reason. He's cussing out a grown ass man.
I felt like, for one, there was a lot of judgment being passed without full audio out because it was clear
Exactly.
from the clip that it was edited
For sure.
to expose Kirk Franklin.
For sure.
Number two, y'all have a tendency of putting celebrities, especially Christian ones, on a pedestal. I don't know why y'all didn't think that Kirk Franklin cursed. I wasn't shocked at all when I heard him cursing. I wouldn't be shocked if I heard most of them. We're fucking humans,
For
and I'm
sure.
tired. And this is not even about y'all, the Christians, but y'all like to pick and choose what's an issue. But we'll save that for another day.
It's a
We
whole
already
nother
talked about that.
podcast, honey.
I just, I guess hit dogs will holler because I have definitely spazzed. I have cursed at my child. I've never directly call her like no bitch ass or no nothing like that. But I've definitely been like, what the fuck are you talking about? Go sit the fuck down. Go the fuck to your
Got
room.
me fucked up.
I've definitely said you
I
got me
said that
fucked
multiple
up.
times.
I have definitely said you got me fucked up, especially recently because somebody. I'm 5'5" and she's 5'7", and that little extra 2 inches is making her feel some kind of way. I just didn't. I guess for me, it's like all this taking it, making it about slavery and making it about. I don't have a problem. I guess for me, I definitely try to do better than my parents. And I don't have an issue with apologizing if I
Mhm.
feel like I did something wrong, if I went a little too far.
Right.
But I can't listen to the internet because I remember when sending your kid to the corner and being like, no, 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 what's the joke? But now it
Hmm.
seems like that's really what y'all want us to do.
Yep.
And I'm going to parent the way that I know how to parent. And I applaud anybody else, especially those of you that don't have kids, especially those of you that grew up when we grew up. And you're going to have kids now in the time that we're in, which is fucking totally different. If you are able to navigate this in the peaceful kumbaya way, kudos to you. By the time it happens, I will be the rich ass auntie on a cruise somewhere, so it won't fucking matter to me. But I was getting myself really worked up reading comments and seeing all these different posts, and I had to take a step back because, like, I'm a good mother, and I that's just where I'm at with it. I'm not saying that there are not some things Amara and I need to work on. I'm not saying there's not some things that maybe when she gets older, she may not come back and be like, that really fucked me up. But kids, especially these motherfucking teenagers. And I'm his goddamn age, so I know these motherfuckers know your buttons. They
For
know
sure.
your
They know them at
buttons.
young ages. So you think a 33-year-old don't know his fucking father's buttons to push and what will set him the fuck off? If my fucking 8-year-old knows, you think a 33-year-old won't?
And then I really, really just would like to give more credit, because I know in my household, especially, everybody in here likes to play victim when I spaz, to the point where I have a notebook. Oh, it's over there, so I won't grab it. I have a notebook. I started writing down when I say things calmly. Like date and time, because I was starting to feel insane. Like I'm just exploding. Like maybe there's something going on. So it's just like, no, no, no. I know that I said what I said when I said it. So
Right.
let me make note of it. So if I
Right.
don't have my notebook, let me put it in my notes on my phone, so that when it happens, because
Got receipts,
eventually,
honey.
because I'm a human being, I'm going to get frustrated.
For
You know
sure.
what I mean? It's just not fair. And that's what it boils down to. It's not fair for anybody, but especially a 33-year-old man, to feel like they can dump all their shit on you, to not do the work. And I'm not saying this is what's happening, but this is a grown man.
A grown ass man. I feel like fuck society, fuck the internet, because it's so contradictory. You say everyone's entitled to their feelings. There should not be no censoring. Like people should be able to express themselves. There should be all this, like it should be no suppression and all this other stuff. But then when a motherfucker spaz, you're like, oh, well, wait a minute. You shouldn't have said that. Or you shouldn't have said that to that person. You shouldn't have said it in that manner. Or like it's so much policing. And I don't know if it's a result of so many people, we see so much into so many people's lives with social media and how everything is recorded, everything is posted, so we're seeing more into it. But it seems like we just in people business too much. Like at the end of the day, niggas, y'all need to mind y'all fucking business. If I cuss my kids out, that's fine. Like obviously they deserved it. I'm not an abusive bitch. I was never fucking abused like by my parents. So I'm just like, look, these fucking kids, they cute as fuck, they smart as fuck, but they bad as fuck. Like them niggas don't listen. So sometimes they need a little fire under their ass, and the fire, instead of coming, comes from my fucking mouth. Like it happens.
What was annoying, because while I understand that everybody has been somebody's child before, so you can have an opinion on it, what I will say, and I feel this way about marriage as well, when you're in it, your perceptions may or may not change. For example, there are some things that I still stand firmly by my parents fucked up on. They fucked up. But there are some things now that I'm at this age, I'm just like, yo, my parents were able to provide X, Y, and Z despite A, B, and C. There's so much stuff that goes into parenting. And I know because anybody can get pregnant, it doesn't seem that way. But parenting is a fucking lot. It's a fucking lot. And if I had outside people that literally heard a 30-second clip of what goes on in my house after 13 years, and this
Can you
motherfucker
say
is
cancel?
33.
They were like chatty patties. Cancel.
No, not even cancel. It would just be frustrating because nobody knows the ins and outs of what it takes to be a parent until they're a parent. You
Right.
can tell me how you felt as a child when you know living with your parents, and maybe it was fucked up, but maybe it wasn't. For example, I'm on Twitter. People are talking about the stimulus checks. It's college students that really feel like there are some that really feel like they should be entitled automatically to the stimulus check. And they're giving certain examples as to why they feel that way. And for certain people, I'm like, sure, that makes perfect sense. You're taking care of yourself, you're a grown person. But for other people, it's like, my mom does this, my mom pays for that, my mom does this, my mom pays for that.
How about
But
your
I feel like
financial aid is in your parents' name?
I should
How about
get
that?
the 1,400. Like, I'm broke and my mom won't give me anything. She's so selfish. And then there's this other thing that's going around on TikTok where they're just like, so what, you take care of me? You're supposed to. I didn't ask to be here. But on the
I've
flip
seen
side of
this.
that, but on the flip side of that, if I have an abortion,
Then you're
so
you're
it's like,
rich.
what the fuck do y'all want me to do? It literally, by law, I have to clothe you, I have to provide, shelter for you, and I have to feed you. I literally don't have to do any fucking thing
We
else for
don't have
you.
to love you.
We don't have to love these kids.
We
And
do
that
not
sounds
fucking have to love you.
horrible, but according to law, you don't have to. So
For
for
sure.
kids to say, well, that's you're supposed to do that, you're a parent. My nigga, do you know how many people don't do that, number one? And do you know how much your parents do for you? Number two, the
Exactly.
shit that you see is probably quadrupled what you don't see
All
that
the
they
stuff
do for you.
behind the scenes, for fucking sure.
And I realized on Twitter that day, I was officially the old bitch because I didn't understand it. It
Yeah.
wasn't even about the stimulus for me. It was about the entitlement. It's the entitlement for
But
me.
it was
These
even
motherfuckers.
adults that was doing stupid shit off the same that definitely probably didn't have kids, but was like making the memes where they're like basically like joking, like, oh, you wrong for having that the kid credit stimulus joint, like, that's your $1,400 right there, or whatever. Like basically like your kid is the reason why like you need to hand that over. First of all, you don't know how much money I've spent on this little motherfucker. We was just talking about food. That's one thing. If you have kids that's in activities, that's another thing. Like, so you're sitting up here like, oh, we just using these kids as cash cows. No, their kids are leeches. They're
I, I
leeches.
I'm
So
trying
cut
to
it the fuck out.
understand that part though. Like, leech 1,400. I don't want to. $1,400 is a lot to some people.
But it ain't shit when it comes to raising no fucking kids.
$1,400 is not no. It's a considerable amount. But $1,400 for kids, it, I hate to break it to you guys. 1,400. I could spend $1,400. Give me 15 minutes.
Let me tell you
I,
something. My daughter's activities, her extracurricular activity, her cheerleading alone is probably about double that. So your $1,400 didn't even fucking cover a season of cheer experience, a season of cheerleading. So yes,
and
wow, fourteen
cheerleading,
hundred dollars.
and I'm sorry, and cheerleading is not the bare minimum.
It is not the bare minimum. This ain't like rec joint for free. I'm talking about all-star cheerleading where there's tuition to be paid. There are expensive uniforms. We have to pay to go to competitions. Like, yes. And then you have motherfuckers that might not even get a fucking stimulus. So guess what? You're making memes for nothing. Because guess what? Some of us ain't getting shit. And that's fine. And some of us ain't getting a tax return. So guess what? We're just fucking thugging it out here during this goddamn pandemic. God damn, man.
It's just frustrating. It's frustrating. It just feels like there's so much judgment on so many different sides. It's frustrating because it's like, I honestly feel like verbal abuse, I've seen it. I know what it looks like. It ain't cute. But then on the other side, it's like, I'm a parent and I know how this 13-year-old been trying me lately. And I know how I, I have enough respect for my parents to not curse at them.
For sure.
But honey, I ain't saying that they asses ain't almost get cussed out quite a few times.
Oh, in my head, my parents definitely got cursed out with me growing up. As a teenager, it was times where if I was giving my parents the blank stare, please don't believe, I probably use every cuss word known to man. I was like, whole time cussing them the fuck out. Like literally, my parents didn't play that shit. Like me, it's crazy. So growing up, me and my mom weren't really close. I was a bird daddy's girl. Like, oh my gosh, like if my daddy was mad at my mom, then you know what? I'm carrying some of that beef too. I don't even know what y'all
Oh
beefing on,
Lord.
but you know what? West side, I'm rolling with daddy. Like, I was just like that type of fucking daddy's girl that like I'm rolling with my goddamn dad. And it was like, I'm not saying I hate my mom or hated my mom. Like we had a decent relationship, but around those teenage years, preteen, like junior high through high school, when I say butting heads, that's putting it lightly. My mom told me to my face in high school, I cannot wait until you until you graduate so you can get the fuck out of my house. She said that to me. And in my mind, sometimes I be thinking like I'm a good kid, but I had a mouth. I had a smart fucking mouth as a kid. So I was good. I didn't get in trouble, got good grades. All that shit was lit. But my attitude, which scares the fuck out of me because I feel like it's my daughter, like super smart, not getting in trouble, but that mouth is starting to build up.
No, our
And
daughters really are little mini me's.
for sure, in real life,
For
and
real.
as much as it's annoying, like I just think back to my mom, and it makes me, even though back then she annoyed the hell out of me, it makes me respect her so much more because there's so many times that she could have knocked me through a fucking wall, or
Yes.
times that my dad saved me from being knocked through a fucking wall. And the crazy thing is, like, I've been battling with like a lot of emotional stuff, and for y'all have been listening for years, what's emotions to Dice? But nigga, I've been drowning in fucking emotions. Like these fucking emotions are like a fucking ocean now. A bitch is looking for a fucking life raft at this point. But I was having a conversation with my mom, how like we were saying earlier, like when you have the moments where you just feel like you are a trash ass mom. And I was just having that moment. And I have never, I've said it to friends, but I've never verbalized to my mom when I'm feeling those ways. Like, I feel like I'm a bad mom, or like I'm not doing enough, or like I'm fucking up my kids. Like, that's my thing. Like, I feel like I'm fucking up my kids. And she was just, let me say something. My mom is not a sugarcoater. Like, my mom know my dad. They don't sugarcoat shit. They don't say stuff to make you feel better. Like, they'll just like, oh, well, or like, or they tell it like it is. So she literally told me, she was like, you are an awesome mom. She was like, you are a better mom than I was ever. And so it took my breath away because she's never said that, because we've never had these kind of mom to mom type conversations. It almost made me cry, but it definitely like made me be like, and she was just like, look, at the end of the day, I did everything that I can do to try to provide for y'all. I didn't know what to do. Like, my mom, I it's no shame, but my mom dropped out of high school because she had my older sister at a very young age. So my mom didn't finish high school, and she just wanted her kids to like do better than her, like go off, get educations, whatever it is, like just do better. But she was just like, I didn't know what the hell I was doing either. Like I was just kind of winging it and being like, I just don't want to fuck up my kids. Pretty much like how I'm feeling, she was feeling the same way. But for to have your mother say out their mouth like you are a better mother than they were, it was like a moment for me. Like it was really like, if I had a therapist, like nigga, I would have been on the couch like on tears, like let me say what the fuck happened this week, nigga. Like goddamn. So it was like really crazy, and it just put stuff in perspective to me that we just need to stop trying to be so perfect. And I think that was my downfall, I not necessarily want to be perfect. I just didn't want to fuck up my kids. I didn't want them to grow up and be like, Mom, you could have did this better. Like, I think the biggest gunshot to the heart for me would be if my kids would have grown up and be like, Mom, like, you fucked me up because, like, why didn't you do this more? Like, why didn't, like, little stuff, like how as an adult it stuck with me that my parents didn't come to none of my softball games or when I cheered. To them, it probably was no big deal because they probably
Right.
like, well, I didn't think you fucking wanted us there. Like, so, but something so small, you don't think that would stick with somebody all the way to adulthood. So I think I'm so self-conscious and so paranoid about that what little things am I doing that could possibly be being stuck with my fucking kids. And I had to come to the point where I'm not going to drive myself crazy about that. I'm just going to do the fucking best that I can do to make amazing humans, healthy, smart, well taken care of humans that are getting a lot more than probably some of the average American black kids are.
Girl.
And I'm like, yeah, like
I
my kids
think
are growing up
that
better than I grew up.
I think that good parents already put enough pressure on themselves. So when you go on the internet and you see these little things that may apply to your house,
Mm-hmm.
it just adds on
It
to
amplifies
your
it.
insecurities. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Like, um, I could definitely see why your mom, your mom saying that would be like a big deal. Um, it's just I feel I really my word for all my moms lately has been grace, because we do not give ourselves enough grace.
At
And
all.
I really feel like when we become adults, if we had well enough parents, and I say well enough because there are no perfect parents, I
Right.
really feel like we are then, especially when we become parents, we are able to give our parents grace. We're able to look at situations that probably made us feel some kind of way as kids with under fucking developed brains, with
Mm-hmm.
no concept of the real fucking world. We can come back and we can say, you know what? My mom
I
and my
get
dad,
that.
they did the best that they could possibly do.
Yep.
My parents were 19 when they had me.
Mm-hmm.
My parents were literally growing. The fucking brain doesn't fully develop until you're 25. So for the
Right.
first 5 years of my life,
They were
my
trying to
fucking
figure
parents
it
were,
out.
you know what I'm saying? So it's like when you think, when people, it's the oversimplification on the internet for me. There are abusive fucking parents, hands the fuck down. I'm not saying that certain things are not, or that I'm not saying certain things are okay. But I'm also just like, y'all motherfuckers don't know what goes on in anybody's household. And unless you're there, you should probably shut the fuck up. Because
Mind your
there's so
goddamn
much
business.
back there's so much
So much
background shit.
backstory. You don't know what leads up to certain things,
There's
especially
so
with
much.
posts. You don't know, like, even going back to the Kirk Franklin thing, you just see a snippet, a 30-second snippet of a Christian man losing his shit, cussing out his 33-year-old son, not knowing there has probably been 15 years worth of therapy and therapy sessions and so much interfamily drama that might have led to this moment, or even just in that particular conversation, and all you're getting up is this snippet. And for that snippet to judge a whole person's character, like, niggas lose they cool. Like, fuck parenting. Anybody lose their cool to somebody that they love or like, or a friend or anybody. You might just be having a bad fucking day and somebody says the wrong shit to you the wrong kind of way, and you fucking lash out on somebody that you love. It's not intentional. You're not being abusive. You're not doing it intentionally, but you're like, look, you rubbed me the fucking wrong way, and this was the wrong moment. All the stars aligned where I fucking lost my shit. And yes, I meant what I said, but maybe I could have said it a little bit nicer. But I don't have the fucking patience to fucking nicen stuff up for people all the fucking time. Y'all just gotta
Even,
understand that.
even if it is abusive. Oh, before I get there, the one thing I wanted to say to one of your earlier points is, no matter what you do, these kids, especially in this day and age, they're going to find some shit to say, my mom fucked me up this way. I mean, every now and then you find some kid that's like, I mean, me and my mom, we got along. That's my motherfucking
That's
homie,
my
but
best friend, right?
I'm my best friend. Okay. Um, what was the other point that I was about to make? Shit. What was the last thing you said?
I don't know because I'm really intoxicated.
Oh wow, I had two margaritas, but it was so long ago. It's gone now.
Yeah, I've been drinking
Um,
since I've been back in the house. Like I'm Hennessy and Jameson.
I don't know what I was gonna say, but y'all are annoying. Leave me alone. Leave Kirk Franklin alone. Leave
At least
Dice alone.
his grown ass son is getting what he wants. He wants
That's
his.
what I meant to say. You said
Yes,
grown
my
little
bad.
okay. Even if something is, I'm not saying even if as a verbal abuse is okay
Okay.
because it's not. But let's say you exploded and you were verbally abusive to your kids.
Yes, Clo Clo.
Apologize.
Hmm.
Try to be better.
Yep.
At the same time, you should be able to have a conversation with your child. For Kirk Franklin, that's a grown man. So Kirk Franklin should be able to say, listen, I don't want to call you a bitch ass nigga, but this is what triggers me to call you a bitch ass nigga.
Right.
And there needs to be mutual respect on both sides.
For
Now, if you
sure.
have smaller children, that might be a little harder for them to understand. Like, mommy had a long day. I need, there are ways to do it though.
It's
Like,
ways to explain it and they understand it
it really
because I've had
is.
those conversations with like, and I think that's one thing that I do better than my parents. That my parents will cuss me the fuck out and be like, "Do what I say because I fucking said it." There
Right.
was no explanations. There was no, you know, mommy had a long day at work, so like. But I try to make it a point that even if I blow up in a moment, after I calm down, about 85 to 90% of the time, my son's too young. Like even though I have apologized to him before, but with my daughter, I try to make it a point to come back and like explain it to her and be like, look,
Yes.
I'm still upset because you did X, Y, and Z, but mommy could have handled it differently. Like
Yes.
maybe I didn't have to say the curse words or smack the wall or something like that. But mommy was upset because I've been explaining this to you so many times and I thought that you would understand. But I get frustrated and blah, blah, and just explain to her where I'm saying, like, I shouldn't have lost my cool, but what I said still stands. But I should have been able to communicate better with my words and how I was saying stuff to you. So with that, I'm trying to be better. But at the end of the day, like you were still wrong as fuck and you need to change your fucking behavior. But like I'm willing to tell you that like maybe I shouldn't have been so aggressive this time and doing this or saying these words so mean to you. But just know I mean what the fuck I'm saying. So I feel like that in itself is growth to our generation. Because nigga, us 80s babies was getting cussed, slammed the fuck out. It could be something that happened at work. And because I fucking said so, clean your goddamn room. Don't ask me no goddamn questions. Or I'm gonna take your goddamn phone or your video game and like go. It was no, all right, look, at work, like some niggas got laid off. I was feeling a certain kind of way because I thought I was gonna get laid off. So, maybe I shouldn't. It was no, I'm
Nothing.
sorry from a parent. I'm sorry from a parent. Not never. No.
I was gonna say I've gotten cussed out for less, way less. I've
For
gotten cussed out
way
for no
less.
reason.
I've gotten cussed out for leaving shoes by the door when I've been told multiple times to make sure you take your shoes and put it in a certain place and got cussed. Slam the fuck out.
See, my dad would have probably just cut the shoes up and then left them by the door. Like he probably would have cut the shoes and then left them by the door.
And be like, I done told you so many times. So
Yep. So I don't know. Again, I'm just gonna say this one last time. Abuse is abuse is abuse. It's not right. If you're experiencing it, um, I don't. I'm not a therapist, but I hope that you can get out of it. You can work something out. Hope all is well. But we can't. We have to stop putting everything in these defined lines. Like there has to be some kind of flexibility, and I
for
feel
sure.
like social media is just turning into a weird place where
Judgment zone.
everything is accepted, but it has to be in this box. And if it's out
Mhm.
of this box, then it's not acceptable. And it's annoying because I try to be accepted, acceptive of everybody. And I try to
Right.
see I try to play devil's
everybody's
advocate with
perspective
most
and
things.
stuff.
But certain things I'm just like,
fuck that shit.
and this is one of them. Suck
You
my dick
better
from
than
the
me
back.
because you know I be like, fuck that shit. I don't. That shit don't make sense. Fuck that shit. Like, what are you talking about? But like, I really with parenting, I think I've tried to adopt less of fuck that shit because I know it's not me. I'm dealing with somebody else's life and they will eventually be an adult my age, and I don't want to fuck up any future generations of my family. So I try to do better. I'm not perfect by any means, not even close. So I try to do better, but yeah, nigga, I have come to the point where only certain people's opinions matter when it comes to my parenting. It sounds horrible, but like I listen to people, I might nod my head, but honestly, I can count on, I would say one hand, but on my two hands, how many people, if they would give me parenting advice, that I would 100% take it to heart and be like, all right. Or if someone was to bring something to me. Okay, so that's that. That if, on two hands, how many people advice that I would actually listen to and take it to heart? On one hand,
I was gonna
there's
say.
only one hand of people that could come to me and tell me, Dice,
And give
you
you
did X,
unsolicited
Y, and Z
advice.
wrong, and like kind of checking me where you're like, you kind of fucked up, like blah blah blah. Then I'd be like, that I would take and actually honestly sit back and be like, like you know what, maybe yeah, all right, let me think about this. At the end of the day, I'm not a perfect person. I'm not a perfect friend. I'm not a perfect daughter. I'm not a perfect employee. I'm not a perfect business. I'm not a perfect anything. So to expect an imperfect person to be a perfect parent is just fucking stupid. And then you throw on everything external that's going on in the world and how many stressors it is for a black woman right now. Let me get my woke hat on. Like, just so much going on, and it's already so many pressures. Like, let me tell you something. I have not cried so much. 2021. I don't know what the fuck kind of energy you're bringing, but it must be,
I know what caused it.
huh?
I know what caused all the tears.
What is it? Was it the full moon in Virgo? What was it, nigga? What was it?
It was Friendsgiving. Friendsgiving unblocked your
Oh
tear
my gosh, that
ducts.
opened the fucking portal. Like,
Yes.
now I'm just like an open ocean of emotions. Like it was like I had bottled up emotions for fucking 75 years and the floodgates open and now I'm just free flowing with my emotions. Like I'm literally like Jesus. But yeah, I am doing my whole best. I'm going to internally, we've talked about it before. What you put in the atmosphere and what you feed your brain will exude out into your life and vibrate to how you act. I'm a good mom. I am doing the absolute best that I can with my capability and my tools, and I'm doing an awesome job, and I'm not fucking up my kids. I saw some stuff online for y'all people that are listening that maybe need some little tips, and some of these tips, like maybe I'll listen to. I'm not guaranteeing because I'm not perfect, so maybe I will, maybe I'm not. But I just saw this one little post that I saw and just had like a couple of tips about parenting during a pandemic and how it can kind of break up the mundaneness and the stress of the repetition and the being in the house, or if you do get to leave the house, just the not leaving the house to have fun, ball-headed friend shit, like going the fuck out and doing fucking lit shit. Because right now it's fucking bar crawl season. And I want to be fucking out in the streets of DC with my friends, drinking beer, hanging out and getting lit, enjoying the sun, the weather, going to beaches with bitches. That's what the fuck I want to do. Beaches
Not
with
with
bitches.
bitches.
That's what I want to do. Beaches with my bitches. That's what the fuck I want to do. And I can't. I can't because bald headed bitch COVID is still here. But anyway, I digress. So some fucking tips they have for parenting during COVID. I did not jot down my sources, so please, no copywriting. Don't get us. I'm just letting you know what the fuck they said. So one says to Understand that perfect parenting is overrated. And I kind of said that earlier. Stop putting so much pressure on yourself to feel like you have to be this perfect parent. I see people that I actually know, and on social media, it looks like they are having the most perfect parenting. Like when I say perfect parenting, I mean like their kids are outside. They're still doing enrichment learning activities. They look like they're having wholesome fun. They're outside, they're at home. Their little work from home virtual learning stations are super perfect and everything is grand. And I'm just like, damn, I want to do that shit. But at the same time, like, if you step back, like, it might not look as pretty as Joe, Sue, or Jane. But guess what? Your kids are still at the end of the day happy. They're taken care of. And this bitch still has fucking straight A's. So you are doing something right. Stop trying to be perfect. That is definitely something that I need to daily think of. Because, like I said, daily, sometimes it'll come out of my mind and I'll be hard on myself. So, yeah, perfect parenting is overrated. Get it the fuck out of here. Also, personal space is a necessity, not a luxury.
Mm.
You don't understand how mentally needed alone time is. Family time is amazing, but not 24 hours a day. You need time away from everybody. And when I say everybody, I'm talking about the dog, I'm talking about your kids, I'm talking about your husband, the cat, whoever the fuck lives with you. You fucking need alone time. I don't know if that alone time is going to a fucking trail and walking in nature. I don't know if that alone time is going out to eat at a restaurant by yourself. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's locking yourself in the basement and watching a movie and eating good food. I don't know what the fuck it is, but alone time definitely helps with your mental. It really does. Like, and I'm not talking about alone time and then you got your infant. I mean, like, total fucking by yourself. No
Yeah.
responsibilities of having to respond to a kid or like even like being in another room. But like if the kid calls, you still gotta run out and see. Like, I mean, like alone time, like disconnecting from your fucking family, like definitely a necessity. Going outside is important. We were just talking about, do not disturb. We were just talking about how we were talking about the vaccine and how I was like, yo, I'm just not going to leave the fucking house. It is definitely important, and this is some earthy hoe shit. It is important to connect with the land, my nigga. Get some fucking sun. Let your touch some grass. I was just talking to my husband. I said I literally cannot remember the last time I had my socks and shoes off and my feet touched grass. It sounds super basic, but I all of that grounding and just like normal shit that we haven't had in a year of just like you could go outside and just like soak up like the world. Like we're so either connected to our devices in our home, like worried about work and our kids. Like we're just not doing basic shit anymore. So like go the fuck outside. Like that helps a lot, especially since now we're starting to see a little bit more consistently warm days. Go the fuck outside. Like do what you need to do safely. Wear a mask. Don't be crazy. Um, Equal shared parenting helps save the stress in the house. Sometimes
Well,
this is
we're not
easier
going to
said
talk
than
about
done.
that. We can just skip over this because y'all niggas is raggedy, and we've talked about that before. Because most of the time, and this is across the board, the moms are usually doing most of the parenting.
For
Dudes
sure.
really feel like because they're in the house, that makes them a good dad because they're home.
Nope.
And there's more to parenting than just physically being in the house, and that doesn't make it equal parenting. But I don't, because I'm getting
Yeah.
hot. So let's
Which
move on.
runs me to my next one. Rethink how you spend time with your kids, not just being there. Just
Yes.
being in the same room with your children is not the same. So, fathers,
Intentional. I
it,
mean, because my husband and I talk about intentional time between us. So I've now I have rethought how that looks like being intentional, even with my child, because she is at this age where like she would rather be on her phone than to hang out with us. So I have to be intentional about getting her attention, keeping her attention, and having that time because I can get in the and she'll go off in her room and be in there all day. And I could be in my mood like, well, then fuck it. I'm gonna have this time to be to myself then.
I suck with what you say, intentional time. I hear quiet in the house and I leave niggas alone. That's that's how it goes. If no one's arguing, no one's yelling and crying, guess what? Peace for me. So I can do better with making intentional time to spend with my son, to spend with my daughter. But sometimes it gets tricky because they don't know when to stop. You could be hanging out with them niggas for a fucking hour, and then when you go to leave, they be like, "Don't leave." I'm like, I have been depleted of all my social time. I need to be recharged. Like even intentional time with my husband, there is none, and it sucks. But me and my husband don't have intentional time. Our intentional time is sitting on the couch, watching TV together, chit chatting, and praying that the kids don't interrupt us. Like they already ate. We already talked to them. Hopefully they'll leave us the fuck alone and we can get through a show. But like that's something I need to do better with like actual intentional time. Like I get more intentional time with my daughter because like taking her to practice and we're in the car together a lot. So we get to have conversations and stuff like that. So I have a lot more time and one-on-one time with her to have intentional time, but I can definitely do better with the niggas in my life, my son and my husband. So definitely got to do better with that. Also, which is difficult, but demonstrate the behavior that you want to see in your kids. So, which is difficult, but like kind of like the rolling into the intentional time. Like if you want your kids to have less screen time, which is difficult sometimes, you can't always be on your iPad or watching the TV during family time, but then get mad when they're on it type thing. Which trust me, I'm not judging because iPads and TVs are a lifesaver in my household. I just want to let you know. But even when taking it from that, from screen time, but like patience, if you're like mad at your kid because like they seem like they're not really being patient about stuff, or you see like with me because I have one kid, and for some reason now my 8-year-old feels like she's my son's second mom. So like the comments that she says to my son, I'm like, man, like you really fucking gotta relax. Like he already has a mom, like chill. But just kind of doing the behaviors that you want to see. So if you want them to be more respectful with how they speak to others, like try to be more respectful, unless they're Kirkin, because like then I'm Kirkin. But like, what's another example? Maybe I don't know. I don't know. Patience. That's all I can think of. Patience. If I'm upset with my kid about patience, like maybe just showing a little bit more patience or trying to go the extra mile, maybe that'll help. So yeah. Is that all I said? I think go outside, personal space. Yeah, I think that's it. But yeah, those were like the tips that I got from this post about helping parenting during pandemic, because it's not easy. It's not easy for anyone. It's not easy for the kids. It's 100% not easy for the parents. And then like you said earlier, going on social media where everybody is a fucking expert but ain't never been through it, that adds extra pressure and headache to an already stressful situation. So at the end of the day, NYB, mind your business. Oh, I got a question.
That's what's
What you
that?
about to say?
No, go ahead.
So it's kind of about parenting, but kind of off subject. But I was talking to somebody and it made me think about this question. So when you get old in your golden years, when you become at the age where you can't necessarily take care of yourself and you're not as independent and you need help with certain things, would you rather your child put you in a home
No,
like a senior?
I don't
Not,
want to be
I
in
don't
home.
want to.
I don't
So
want to be in home.
let me rephrase because I said it wrong. Not
I
necessarily.
want to be in her home.
Okay. All right. We answer my question because I was gonna say, would you rather be in?
I
It's like
don't want
called
to be in
adult
nothing.
living, where they have
Mm-mm.
like those apartments and shit. Would
No.
you rather that a home or like your child after you move in with your child and they take care of you in
My
your
child
space?
move in my home, or I move in hers. I don't want to go to anybody's. No,
I
we
agree.
didn't. We my grandmother, she stayed with us. My grandfather, he did end up having to go on a home. He lasted like a week or two in there. I mean, like we didn't put him into one until he was really, really, really bad with this Alzheimer's and stuff to the point where he was like harming himself.
Mm.
Um, so I guess if it was something like if I was at that point, I probably wouldn't know no better. If I was harming myself or potentially harming others, then sure. Otherwise, no, no. And I'll put it in my will that if you put me in a fucking home, you don't get any of my
You're
money.
not
So
getting
there's
nothing.
that.
So a little incentive. No, I feel the same way. For like our longtime listeners, I'm sure I mentioned it on past podcasts, but I'm pretty much the caretaker of my parents. My parents, they're both 80. One, my father has dementia, and it's not really bad. He has some days that are bad, but for the most part, it's just he just if you knew him back in the day, he is a different person. He doesn't talk as much. He's not as outgoing. He's had a couple strokes, so physically, he's not the same person. So he's not as mobile. And some days he just doesn't talk a lot unless you like really engage him in conversation. Which before, like this man was the social butterfly for sure. But so I had that, and then my mom, who's fine, she has like some medical stuff. She's just older, but like not like my dad. And I'm pretty much like their caretaker. Like I take them there to their doctor's appointments. I go grocery shopping for them. I handle their bills. I go get their prescriptions, stuff like that. One of my dad's really bad strokes, like I used to always be against homes. So let me just say that first. Like I was like, I'm never put my parents in a home. I've seen when my grandmother was in a home just how they don't take care of people. Sometimes you can get nurses. They don't give a fuck about these people because they ain't they goddamn family. They don't sometimes change them. Like they get even more medical problems being in these homes because they're not getting taken care of good. Especially if you can't afford some luxury shit. Like you won't get motherfuckers that's basically like babysitters and then just bring meals around for the most part. So I've always been against it. So it was one stroke where it wasn't necessarily a home, but it was kind of like it was like a rehab after he had the stroke because he couldn't really walk. It was like certain functions he didn't have. So he had to stay there. And there was certain, he needed help showering because he wasn't mobile, and like they brought him food and stuff like that. And he had rehab inside that facility. Let me say something. I hated it and he hated it. And when I say the amount of guilt that I felt with him being there, because I try my best to visit every day. At the most, I might have skipped like a day, which was difficult because it was pre-COVID. So I was working, still had 2 kids, and it was a lot to do all of that every day and then go visit him. It was a lot, but I did it and I managed. But he was miserable. And I don't know if you ever seen like a person that like they're on the brink of giving up, like fuck this shit. Like it was like I would go visit him and he kind of had this feeling like we had gave up on him, so why the fuck should he care? Like that
Mm.
kind of thing, especially since I have always been so vocal about like I'm not gonna put you in a home. And with his dementia, I think he thought this was a home, and we had like took him to a home, and he didn't understand why after being discharged from the hospital he wasn't in his home and he was in
Mm-hmm.
this home.
But it wasn't a home. It was a rehab. It was a rehab center, correct?
Right. But in his mind, it was like a home, but it was trash. 100%
Mm.
it was trash. They was feeding them cold food. Like, it was trash for sure. And I had to go through all this stuff to do the paperwork to get him released early because he was starting to progress in his rehab, and he was able to get around and do a lot of stuff on his own. And then with his insurance, he was able to get a nurse to come in house to do certain things a certain amount of days a week. So I'm just like, look, whatever the fuck we gotta do to get my nigga out of here. Like my man is unhappy. Like I'm a big daddy's girl, so my dad's happiness means a lot to me. So I don't want my dad thinking that I done gave up on him. It was plenty of times I done cried to my mom like he really thinks that we left him here. Like when we leave after visits, like I just want to cry because this man is like he has literally said he wants to go home, and I feel trash leaving him here. I say all of that to say don't put me in no fucking home. I have seen how these people, and I'm not. downing homes, because there are some medical facilities for older people that I'm sure are amazing. I have just not been witness to them yet, or maybe they are for the rich white people. But I know the ones that I have seen, and that people that I know have been to them, even for kids, they don't give five fucks. You might get a couple of good nurses that might be on a shift and be lit, but the rest of them fucking shifts and the way them people treat these people, I would never want my parents to suffer, and I don't want to suffer. I feel like I have been a good enough mom and have sacrificed enough that the least you can do is give me a room in your basement so that I can live with you, my nigga. Or at least help me finance my own goddamn house. Luckily, I married young.
What if she doesn't have the space? What if she doesn't have the space for you to
Well,
stay
manage
at
my
her home?
finances. I hopefully, knock on wood, will have a retirement. I will be hopefully like my parents, where whatever my social security and my monthly income is could still finance where I'm living. So just if I don't have the brain capacity to manage my bills and my business, like my stuff, leave me here. But
What
like
I'm
help me
saying
with my
is,
shit.
if you can't take care of yourself, you need somebody to help take care of you. Like my grandmother, when she was staying with us, she could not
Like
shower by
physically do.
herself.
So
She
like if
like
it
we
wasn't like my mom and my dad, like it was just my dad type situation where he didn't have anyone to do the physical.
Right.
Hopefully I would have established enough to be able to have like a nurse. But if
Right.
not, like I would just be like, yo, why I can't live with you? Like
Well, that's what I'm saying. What if she didn't have the space?
why I can't live with you? Like what you talking about? I'm young. But I married young. So my husband was not gonna, well, even though women definitely age better than men. But like hopefully I will be the old Betty and he will be taking care of me, and we won't have to be the burden on my kids. Not that
Girl, he gonna
our
have
parents
you
are
like
burdens.
that one dude. Remember we
Oh
talked
yes,
about it, and he had his girlfriend in the house because his
yes.
wife had.
A hot fucking mess. Let me tell you something. I will stab you in your eye if you watching this. I will stab you in your eye if you put me in a home and you're fucking and you out here parlaying with your young girl. Like
No, he's gonna keep you in the home, but you ain't gonna be able to do shit. So what can you say? He's gonna have this little side old
that's true.
Shirley in
I
there.
just need to put a fucking some type of clause in my will and be like, if you put me in a home, no funds will be received. Like whoever signed the paperwork will not get any funds.
How do you feel about do not resuscitate orders? Because my father said that, and me and his wife will. I mean, I will fuck her up. I don't care. And I've told her this to her face. Like, I will literally fight you. But my father has said that if he ever gets really, really bad and it comes down to that, he doesn't want to be resuscitated. He wants the plug to be pulled. And he was like, call me by my government, which you don't do. Dun, dun. Are you clear? This is what I want. AJ's on board, Shorty's on board, Courtney's on board. And you know what my response was?
Fuck no.
None of them niggas were around as long as me. So fuck if I care. I don't
um
care. I will fight my brother, definitely fight my sister, and I will fight his wife. Like, what are y'all talking about? What you have I was like, so
Mm-mm.
dad, what where are you at? Like, what do you mean when you say pull the plug? Like, are you just there's no chance of this? You're like completely brain dead. Is I don't understand. You have to give me something. Because if
Mhm.
it's hope, then
We
the
gonna
hope is
rock with it.
popping.
Exactly. I have, and people who know me, death gives me extreme anxiety. I don't like people close to me dying. Thinking about my own death, even just thoughts of it, stress me the fuck out, and I get anxiety and
Which
I
is so
start thinking about,
crazy.
which is bananas, but it stresses me the fuck out, and I have been like this for as long as I can remember. So as far as do not resuscitate, let me tell you something. I don't give one fuck about what my parents, my children, or my spouses say. I am going to spend whatever amount of money I can to keep y'all motherfuckers here with me. Call it selfish, call it whatever the fuck
My
you want.
dad says it's selfish.
I cannot deal with it unless they are in pain, and like keeping them here is keeping them in pain and suffering. You are not fucking leaving this earth. You're fucking leaving me. The same goes for me. I don't give a fuck if I'm blinking one fucking eye or wiggling one goddamn toe. Y'all don't fucking kill me. Y'all keep working. Y'all know there are medical breakthroughs every day. Don't let me die, nigga. I don't want to die and I don't want to lose people. So I'm not the one to talk to about do not resuscitate because, nigga, I'm resuscitating till the wheels fall off. Like, nigga.
I I don't really care for myself. It's just for my dad.
I care about everybody because I just think about all the people that are close to me, my parents, my husband, my kids, my friends,
Can I
and
just
them
pause real
dying.
quick and say that my friends know when we record this podcast and they are in this bitch today. Like my friends.
Right.
I'm saying do not disturb is the feature that we should always use. Sorry, listeners, I just had to break this up because my phone is popping
Yo,
and I
mine
want
is
it
so
to
I'm just
stop.
like, oh, okay, but when I be bored and shit, and like, y'all niggas don't hit me up.
Nothing.
For
Ooh,
real. But
girl,
yeah,
we are yes.
yeah. Y'all keep me alive. Shay, she don't really give a fuck. So pull the plug
I
on stuff.
don't. Because death is death. And I yeah.
I'm
I
scared
will
of
I
death.
will I will leave that up to them on how they feel because I know that as far as I'm concerned, my dad has no choice. He can say whatever the fuck he wants to say, but
Right.
I mean,
I
I,
remember when I was younger, like literally super young, and we have had morbid conversations. Like when I was in like junior high, and my dad would be like, "I want to be cremated," and I'm like, "You're shitting me. I'm not burning your body."
I want to be cremated.
He's like, "I don't give a fuck
That's
because I'm
so
not
weird.
going to feel it." But now, now that I'm an adult, this is
Funerals are
also going to sound
expensive.
weird. It's super expensive, but my dad was a veteran, so like we can get him buried for free. That's
Oh
not
yeah,
the
yeah,
issue.
yeah.
But now that I'm an adult, I low key want to get my dad cremated for selfish reasons, of course.
So you can
Um,
get him as some jewelry.
yes,
Yeah, that's what my sister and my brothers and them did when mommy passed. They all have. I want to say my sister has a
like little
necklace.
lockets and necklace
Hmm.
and stuff. Like I definitely will fucking keep my dad's urn as well as fucking like, cause my dad is my nigga. So like,
Yeah,
God forbid this nigga leave this earth. Like, nigga, I still need you with me. Like, you know what I'm saying? So as much as I'm just like, you definitely could go to Arlington Cemetery for the free. I just know me, and I know I never go back to grave sites since my
I don't
uncle,
either.
and I was like this with my uncle, my dad's brother. I have not been back to his grave site since he's been buried. Most of
I
my close friends, any of my
I have a
family
lot of
members
friends
that
that
have
go
been
back
buried,
to grave sites like every year, and I'm just like, for me, because I have a lot of people that have died, a lot of people that have died, and I've only saw my aunt's grave again because her mom died and we went to the funeral, and she was buried in the plot across the grass.
and that's the only
Otherwise,
reason.
before my grandfather passed, he was just like, because they had already purchased their plot. He was like, it's here when you, because on our way to their house, we passed the cemetery, and he's like, just nod when you go by. So I just kind of grew up on like not visiting grave sites because it's depressing as fuck. It's like,
Right.
and I'm actually really afraid of cemeteries, thanks to Michael Jackson. No, for real.
For real.
No, I'm really afraid of cemeteries. I don't like to step on anybody's grave.
Oh, I don't like that either. I think that's
But,
bad luck.
well, between Michael Jackson and Carrie, because at the end of Carrie, when I think her name was Amy, maybe that was her real name. Well, anywho, when she went to go put the flowers down on the grave,
Hmm.
Carrie's arm came up and grabbed her, and then Michael Jackson, all them niggas in Thriller came back. I
That
don't,
trying to
I,
stress you the fuck out, honey.
I ain't fucked with no cemeteries since birth,
I don't mind
because
cemeteries during the day, but at nighttime it's not happening.
cemeteries at night,
I don't know,
girl,
like people do dumb shit. Like go do
I
cemetery.
wouldn't,
Like I would
I would
never.
never.
I would never because I'm a scary bitch, like when it comes to stuff like that. But yeah, I as much as I was against cremation, I'm definitely thinking about it, even though like I said, burying him would be like for the free. But I just know I would not. I'm not. First of all, A bitch can barely get to Arlington Cemetery. That's number one. So how would I fucking find your plot in a sea of shit that I've been living in this area for how long and I still can't fucking barely get there? That's number one. I will probably never go back. Two, it just, even though it would be a fee, like I would be able to keep him with me. Like, so maybe this shit ain't bad. Like at the end of the day, if anybody's listening, you're anybody besides Shay, because she might try to say that I said bury me. Dog, resuscitate. Not the D, not the do not resuscitate. Please resuscitate.
Listen, that's
Do
between you and your husband.
I mean, he might ask for opinions. You know, this nigga be needing help. He might ask for my close friends' opinions and be like, what the fuck should I do? I got my best friends who might try to be practical and be like, I'm looking at the budget and it seems like you guys need to fucking pull the plug because it's costing too fucking much to keep this bitch alive. I'm letting y'all know I don't give a fuck. Keep me alive, nigga. Like, you never know. I might pull through. I'm a strong bitch. I just need a little bit more time to fight whatever the fuck I'm fighting. And I might be, don't pull the plug before I done finish the fight. Okay? And don't listen to these stupid ass doctors because half of them niggas don't know what they talk about. Just pray and a bitch might come back. But yeah, I'm not the one to talk about do not resuscitate because I want everybody to live forever. Okay. That's the only question I have. TNTV.
Girl. I don't have no TV because I'm not caught up with my shit.
Look, let me tell y'all something, loves. I'm so behind on my fucking TV shit. You would be so ashamed because usually I'm the one that's like, oh, I watched this, and Shay's like, but let me tell you something. I am fucking behind. I have been between being in my head and being busy. I have not really watched a lot of TV. Like, I'm mad that the Aretha Franklin series started. I missed the first episode. I think another one is going on now, but then someone told me it's on Hulu, so hopefully I can catch it on demand. I heard the first joint was good. I'm gonna go back and watch it. I have not watched any of it. Um, I'm behind on all my shows. I'm behind on everything. Married to Medicine. I think I might be caught up on fucking Basketball Wives, which I don't know. I'm
I already
about to
said I'm
start
not
taking
watching
my
that shit no
own
more.
fucking advice. I don't know why I'm watching this shit no more because every time I watch it, it fucking annoys me. So I don't understand why I'm still watching it. I think because I've been watching it for so many years, like I continue. Somebody told me about the Love and Hip Hop just start recently, or maybe I misunderstood what they were saying.
I've been told you they're doing a family reunion
But
where they
is there
have
some new
people.
season that started though? I remember you told me about that one where they had like where they were
I
going
don't
back and
know.
looking at stuff. But and maybe I just misunderstood, but someone was saying something about new love and hip hop. So maybe I was just assuming that it was a new season. But yeah. As far as shows, I feel like I'm behind on everything. Love and Marriage, Huntsville, I feel like I'm behind on that. I think I didn't see the last one. I think I might be caught up on Married at First Sight.
I don't watch that show anymore either.
Fucking Chris, he's a bitch. Um, what other shows? I don't know. Oh, I'm behind on This Is Us. Yeah, so we'll catch up next time.
I don't
We're
have
not
no
talking about
TV written down
yeah,
because
we're not talking about TV this time. We love y'all, but look, we ain't got nothing to discuss because we are behind. T, there was a versus since the last time we seen you guys.
I didn't watch it.
I did not watch it. I think I hit the group chat up to see if it was something that we were going to do, and only like one person responded, and I was really inebriated at the time, so I was
I
going
was in
to.
Home Depot.
I was with the shits if everybody's with the shits, but it definitely wasn't a versus. It was, for those of y'all who didn't watch or didn't know about it, it was Raekwon versus Ghostface, which are Wu-Tang members. I don't listen to Raekwon like that. I like a couple of Ghostface songs. So unless y'all was playing like all just Wu-Tang shit, yeah, I'm not really interested. But I heard afterwards that it was actually really good. So that's really good for you guys who enjoyed that. But I didn't
Not
watch
for
it.
you guys. I was
I
in
didn't
Home
watch it.
Depot and at home spending my stimmy. I'm not gonna lie. Listen,
But it is
I
a
ain't
fucking
balling.
versus that's gonna come up in the future that I am fucking ready for. The Isley Brothers and Earth, Wind, and
Oh
Fire.
yeah.
Let me
And
tell
it's the
you,
Isley Brothers
all
for
the
me.
oldness in me, bitch. I'm gonna be so fucking drunk. And I'm going to be singing. It's going to be like the Brandy and Monica all over again. So y'all might as well just put me on mute or just say don't go on house party because I am going to be singing all the fucking old tunes. I cannot wait for that one. Yeah, I'm excited. As far as verses.
I'm looking forward to that one. I can't remember what the other ones were. I
Some
know
of them
one
were
they said was
blurred
Redman and
out.
Method Man. Yeah, because they're probably trying to keep the
It was one though
suspense.
where it looked like it was like a ladies' night or like some kind of R&B one, and it was like a short amount. I was like, I wonder if that's SZA.
Oh,
And she doesn't,
that would be. She
but
needs to
she doesn't
release her
have like a
album
whole
first.
bunch of music. But I was like, who else could that be that only have like four or
Maybe
five
it's
verses?
Maya, your
I'm not
fave.
watching that shit. Against who? Against
I
who?
don't know. I don't know. Carrie Hilson. I don't know.
Speaking of Carrie Hilson, thank you.
Uh,
Segue. So you guys, I don't know if my loves know that I don't fucking like Carrie Hilson. I don't. I don't like Lebby. But let me say something. The Grammys happen. And it's this thing called karma. And it's just like a nice little circle. The bitch might be slow or she might be fast. It just depends on what the fuck it is. But Blue Ivy won a Grammy.
she
And
did.
this bitch had a nice little picture. And don't cancel me because this is not verbal abuse about a kid. Because y'all might be like, oh, you calling a bitch? We were just talking about parenting. This joint for the sensitive joints did a picture with a fucking crown on, sipping with a straw because she's classy out of her Grammy, like her daddy. If y'all don't remember, like her daddy had his fucking Grammy and was sipping champagne out his Grammy. And I loved every bit of it. And for you guys who don't understand why I love every bit of it, I love every bit of it because if you recall some years back, Miss Hilson felt the need to just go in on Beyonce. Don't know where this beef start. Don't really give a fuck because the bitch is irrelevant. You had a couple of songs. You could have had me. You had your little shit with Kanye. I was kind of rocking with that shit. And that's about it. But anyway, you started beef with Beyonce, or Beyonce started beef with you. I don't know how this beef started, but there was some kind of beef. You decided to hop your little narrow ass on a fucking song and pretty much tell Beyonce that she needs to sit her ass down and have some children. Well, honey, not only did she do said suggestion, she had her child, and said child has now won a Grammy before you have. So I just want to say that the amount of fucking full circle that is, that you can tell a bitch on some shady shit like, bitch, you need to sit the fuck down somewhere and go have some kids. And your fucking kid has now been born, or that kid has now been born and has gotten a fucking Grammy in a field that you have been doing way before the child was born. I just love it because I don't like Carrie Hilson. So
I
that
don't
was
mind
just
Carrie Hilson, so
an amazing moment.
I don't care. I don't care either way. I definitely chuckled when I saw that little meme floating around. I actually was listening to Carrie Hilson today in the car
The
when I
whole
went to
album?
go drop my. I have her whole first album on my phone from a long time ago, and so I was listening. I was pressing shuffle, and like 5 of her songs came up, and I was singing all the words.
The only songs that I honestly and truly, and I'm not
That
being
is
a
fine.
hater, I know the little joint with Kanye, which is Liddy, the little Knock You Down. I
Mm-hmm.
love that song.
Mm-hmm.
And then I remember the Pretty Girl Rock joint.
Those are all songs that came out on the radio. I actually had her album, so there were songs from the album that I liked.
I'm just saying, what else songs that came out for her? And this is not shady for being a Carrie Hilson fan because I feel like that's where this is going, and that's not what it is. I'm
No,
just saying, what has she done?
She had other songs that came out because she had two albums that I know of, and so I know she had singles from them. But my favorite songs from
Oh,
those
well, like the
albums
unreleased
were
joints.
album. Yeah,
Got it.
yeah.
So is she more of a, because I know that she writes for people. So is she like more of her hits come with like writing for people versus, because I didn't know she only had two albums because that's pretty sad. But
I
like,
mean, maybe she has more, but I only know of the two.
Okay. Does she write more for people than she does like release music? Cause like how like The Dream is like a writer and he's an artist.
I have no idea what Carrie Hilson is doing in 2021. She just happened to pop up in my shuffle because I was listening to the music that I have on Apple Music because I'm not an Apple Music girl. And I was just like, oh, I have this. I mean, but I also had Dora on there. So that just lets you know how long ago this was on my phone because
All
my child
right.
doesn't listen to Dora anymore.
At all.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
Blue Ivy is a queen, and I enjoyed her picture. Sending my condolences to Carrie Hilson because I'm sure her mentions were in shambles. Beyonce now has more Grammys than most of you niggas, and you love to see it.
I love to see it. It
And
made
she's
me
a Virgo.
yeah,
I
it
have
made
to
me
share that.
smile. I didn't watch the Grammys. I'm not here for the Grammys, but
Yeah,
I
I didn't either.
appreciate how convenient that the Grammys were super black this year, and so many black people who have never won Grammys magically won Grammys like Nas. Like what the fuck? But anyway, like I said, I didn't watch it, but I heard like the after talks about it and stuff like that. And Diddy got on there and was talking about like he wasn't here for the Grammys and like we tired of y'all niggas judging us and like how we bust our ass to appease to you guys and still hip hop doesn't matter to you guys. But like a hella gang of black people was winning. But I mean that's the climate of America, you know. Like give these niggas some breadcrumbs so they can shut the fuck up. Like let them win their Grammys and shit. So like Black Lives Matter, right? Anyway, whatever.
This man killed this woman, 7-year-old, her mom, her brother, and her cousin because he felt like he should have got some of the stimulus check. Um, oh, he also shot her, but she survived. And I just want y'all to know that y'all out here like killing 4 people for $700 because that's what he asked for. And
Y'all
but
niggas
also,
are killing off stimmies.
but people were on the internet saying, well, I mean, at the end of the day, like that's his kid too. So yeah, he should get some of it. And that's just not how that works, guys. Um, that's just
Who's
not how that
taking
works.
care? Who is the primary
Again,
parent and caregiver
again,
of that child?
you guys are going off of half of you niggas probably didn't even open the article to read the story.
You just read the headline and
You
shit.
literally probably just read the headline and you've
Mm-hmm.
taken it and based it on that because you know I want to have a child support conversation with Duncan and I need to find another guy who's experienced it. I want to have a conversation about it because
Well,
you
I want to bring
know
on a female that goes through child support stuff.
okay
I don't
well
know how
we
they
can
would be on the podcast, but yeah, we'll talk about it off air. But
okay but
yeah,
yeah a lot of people were on the internet really not a lot, but there were a few people that like was just like, I mean, I get it. I mean, it's fucked up that he killed these people, but like that's his kid, and these bitches is out here. God act like we about to go out and get Birkin bags for 1,400.
let
I
me
don't
tell.
understand, guys.
Let me tell
I
you,
don't
most of this
understand.
money is in real life. This shit is going to either taxes that niggas is going to owe from last year, or fucking bills, or
I,
groceries from these greedy ass kids. Like, what do y'all think y'all really doing? Y'all about to fucking go to Hawaii off this shit? Like, what the fuck do y'all think y'all doing off these fucking stimmies? What? Like, what?
I don't understand. But I just wanted to share that. Also, Ben Carson, he compared the treatment of Black Republicans to slaves, to runaway slaves. He says, because I'm reading, he said they wouldn't just kill you if you ran away and got caught. They torture you in front of everyone to serve as a message not to run away. And he feels like basically that's what people are doing to Black Republicans. I didn't really understand the correlation, but I just thought I would share with you guys because there's that. Also, the Vatican is saying that they're not going to bless same sex unions, but they're still molesting little boys.
Ooh,
So it's just there was just a lot of odd things happening in the news.
look at the world.
I don't have any tea per se. That was it for me. I just wanted to throw those 3 things out there real quick. Do. I'm
I
done.
don't have a lot of tea either. Like super busy. Apparently Quavo and Sweetie broke up,
Oh,
and
that did happen.
their hood family has
Take
taken to the
care.
internet. Cause look,
Did you
yeah,
see his tweet? His tweet basically said to me, like, I can't believe you would tell everybody I cheated on you. You're not the kind of woman I thought you were. And it's just like,
So she was just supposed to be gracious with it and just be like, oh, okay, well, we're just broke up. I can't tell you why though. Like,
and
nigga,
in
you cheated on
response
me.
to
Fuck
that,
you.
she said, "Take care." And then they had the meme of her face on Drake's body from the Take Care album. I was weak. I was like, "Take Care" is like the female
Ah!
version of "You Good Love Enjoy." How did it go?
Um,
You good love enjoy.
enjoy,
Whatever Future
yeah.
says.
Yeah.
It tickled me pink. But people on Twitter, y'all are really invested. I feel like I don't know if it's maybe because there's just a lot going on at home, but I just feel like I'm not as invested because that's all Twitter was talking about.
So heavy. Heavy. And I'm just like, I mean, his cousin is offset. So I mean,
But my thing is, like, they were a cute couple and stuff, but like, was this like this generation's Beyonce and Jay-Z or something?
I
Because I
hope
just
not.
didn't
They seem that fucking
expect.
solid to me.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm like, how long have they been together? Like a year,
They've been
maybe
together less
two.
than fucking Cardi and Offset. Like, nigga, and they
Right.
broke up
You're
like
so right.
so. I'm just like, nigga, I wasn't that invested in this goddamn. They were a cute couple aesthetically, but I don't know
Yes.
them niggas like that.
Thank you. I just felt like a lot of people were a lot more invested in it than I thought they would
A
be.
lot of people was talking about this breakup, and if you would have asked me a year ago, if do you think if Quavo and Sweetie broke up, like it would be a big thing on the internet, I would have just been like, oh no, I think it'll probably be like a post on the shade room and that's it. I did not
Yeah.
know this will be like think pieces over
Memes and
multiple social medias, and I don't know if I can blame this on COVID and niggas don't got shit to talk about this week or last week. I don't know what it is, but this is catching a lot more talk about than I would expect.
yeah, I didn't expect to see all of that. But Sweetie is a very cute girl. I'm
I
sure
feel like
she's
both of them are going to bounce back and have other motherfuckers.
they're
Quavo is decent
attractive
looking and he
enough.
got a gang of money. And
Hmm.
Sweetie is a very cute girl with a career that's about to fucking pop off even more than it is. So both of them will be just fine without each other.
Honestly,
They don't have no kids together. They wasn't married. Like, nigga, they was dating.
honestly, they're probably about to get back together. Why you
Yeah.
bullshitting? That's
You know
another
how
reason why I'm not giving this no
you
attention.
know how these Hollywood couples go, because you know how many times we thought that Cardi and Offset was done for fucking real. Niggas was filing for divorce, and next time you know they got videos online licking each other's tongues. Nigga, they are fine. So look,
Yeah.
we more invested than they are at this point. This other thing, maybe I'm gonna save it for the next podcast or maybe even Clubhouse about this dude Derek Jackson. I don't
Save
know
it
a
for
lot about it.
Clubhouse.
Okay. Yeah, I looked a little bit into it. It just seemed like he's the next Martell. I'm not sure, but I need to do a little bit more digging to get like the fucking
You
the
know
meats
the
and
dude
potatoes of
Kevin
it.
Samuels that gives harsh advice. You've seen the videos because we shared them in the group chat.
Oh,
I
the
think his name is
YouTube joints.
yeah, the one that be
Okay, yeah.
going hard on the women and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Derek Jackson, he doesn't have people calling him, from what I've seen, he doesn't have people like calling him in to get advice, but he basically is like the complete opposite of that. He's strictly for the women. He's always talking about what women should accept, and he's always talking about how men should treat a woman
So, oh,
and
the
all this
irony
other
that he
stuff.
cheats.
And
Oh, okay.
so it's the irony. But we're gonna table that for
For Clubhouse.
Clubhouse because I have something that I'm saving for Clubhouse as well. Y'all
Okay.
gotta come to Clubhouse. The
Y'all
conversations
gotta
be
come to
popping or
Clubhouse when
whatever.
we tell y'all that them conversations be lit. We not just saying that shit. Yes, our podcast be lit, but I feel like the Clubhouse is on another level because we talk about the same caliber of shit that we do on a
We
podcast.
have less filter on Clubhouse
Less filter,
because
and
it's
y'all
not
get to
recorded.
engage with us and be like, have y'all ever thought X, Y, and Z? And like y'all can pose questions to us or like maybe even viewpoints that we didn't even think about. So we are definitely next week going to be on Clubhouse. We'll post it on our social media at the Chatty Patties on Instagram so that you know it's usually on Wednesdays around 7:30, but we will definitely post something to let you guys know, like if it's another day or if it is going to be on the day on when we're going to be on Clubhouse. But y'all niggas make sure y'all tune the fucking because we're going to definitely that'll be one of the things that we talk about. But I don't have any more tea and TV, so you want to go to good, bad, and release.
I'm trying to see what else I got. Yeah, because I'm gonna save that for Clubhouse. So you start because I'm on your type of time today. I don't
Oh,
have
you on some
anything set
dice shit today? Okay.
up.
So, all right, let's see. Am I good, bad, release? We're supposed to end with something positive. Ooh, that's gonna be difficult. All right. Or you could end with a release. Okay, so
Yeah, you
good.
can do that.
So as a good, and this is going back to parenting because full circle. So as you guys have heard either on this episode or previous episodes, my daughter, even through COVID, she's doing her all-star cheerleading. And 100% all of her competitions are virtual. So what that means is they will go to their gym where they normally practice at, and they will record a clip, and then they submit it off to the event producers, and then the judges judge it, and then like at a later date they'll have like an online event, like a awards event, and then you like get to watch the other people's uh videos that they uploaded that were competing against you, and then they let you know like out of these people that competed, this person won this place, blah 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 blah. Some of the events, depending on how big it is, you'll still get mailed like medals, and if you win, like you'll get a jacket and like all that stuff, a ring and stuff like that. So she's been participating in that, and for me and my little COVID stuff, definitely had to it took me a lot of steps to feel comfortable with her still participating in sports through all this, but it's been super safe. Like the organization has been really good with their process. We're keeping the girls safe and keeping everything on the up and up. The good is that she has really been thriving with cheerleading. She just last week started back with her private lessons, because even though we're like towards the end of competition season, it's about to be tryout season for like the next season. So like
Mhm.
you want to start showing your skills to be like, okay, well, I might be at a level 2 right now, but like I'm trying to be on a level 3 next season. So like here are my skills that I have so that I can qualify to be on this next level, for example. So I've been starting to take her back to private lessons starting last week, with starting to work on higher level skills, so that if she's ready, she can move on to like the next level when she tries out. So the good is that she's just been doing really really good. She's enjoying it still, so that's always the main thing. That like I would dish out all the money and make all the sacrifices to take you to a million practices, as long as you feel like you're enjoying it and you're getting something out of it. And she's continuously reinforcing that she loves it, she's having a good time, she loves the interaction, she loves her new team. So it's a good for her, it's a good for me. So that's my good, because she's definitely been thriving in that area. The bad. So this last week they had a virtual competition, and the recording was on a Thursday, which is out of the norm for our team. And not to go into any details because I don't know how many people listen to this podcast. It was a rough recording session. Mainly my daughter and her stunt team, they were having a lot of issues. And I got called into the gym, and I had to talk to my daughter, because apparently said child that belongs to me and came out of my womb decided that she was frustrated with what the coaches was telling her, and decided to roll her eyes at her coaches. I don't tolerate disrespect. We talked about this earlier in the podcast. If you're not going to roll your eyes at me, I don't expect you to roll your eyes at any other adult, let alone your fucking coaches. I
Right.
don't tolerate disrespect. I don't like it. Playing is playing, but real life is real life. And when it's time to be serious, we're going to be serious. And at none of these times are disrespect acceptable. So the fact that sis just felt the need to like, my only response in this moment is to roll my eyes and disrespect my coach. I felt like a ball of anger. But I'm new on this team. We are new on this team. This is our first year. So oh no, old Dice can't walk up in this gym and get the busting off with the words and shit. I can't Kirk Franklin in this motherfucker. Like I got to keep
Right.
it cool. So that was really like bad for me. Um, it was bad for her. But it kind of like rolls into my release, because it kind of also goes into the perfect parenting and trying to be a superwoman. As I walked into gym, prepared to cuss said child out, I was stopped by 4 different people, 2 people that I have never met a day in my life. I don't know what look I had, especially since I had on a mask, so all you could see was my eyes.
Mm-hmm.
But they just tried to save my child. Like literally, like they didn't know anything was going on. They didn't even know what the coach had told me. They just knew that I was the mother of said child that had rolled eyes at coaches, and I was coming in the building.
Mm-hmm.
And I had different people tell me they're tired. I have seen your child numerous times, and she doesn't come off as a disrespectful child. This is not the norm for her. So I just want to say, please keep in mind that today is a Thursday. I'm sure she has been up since 6 or 7 a.m. this morning, had to go to school all day, then get dressed, prepared, and ready to come to record for a cheer competition. And it is now 9:30 at night. Your child is probably tired. She's probably frustrated. And the fact that it's her group that is having the struggle, she's frustrated. And her only response with being put on the spot again was to roll her eyes. I don't think she meant any disrespect. But then I also had coaches that was like, I'm just confused on why we rolling eyes in here. And we just and I'm like kind of like, yeah, why the fuck we rolling eyes? But then I'm having like other parents like, look, please. She really didn't mean it. So at the end of the day, I talked to my child and I understood. My daughter has her spicy moments, but she's not a disrespectful child. And this is not just me saying it because I'm her mom. My son, that nigga's disrespectful. But my daughter is really not disrespectful to the core. She might be sassy. She might try to test limits these days because of her age and what she's seeing and the people that she talks to. But overall, she's not a bad kid. And when I talked to her, and she didn't hear me talking to these separate people. So like I can't say that she was just mimicking what she heard. She was tired, and knowing my child and also being her coach on another team, my daughter doesn't like confrontation. She gets embarrassed when she's called out and singled out. This happens even in school. She doesn't like to be put on the spot. She is we joke about her like being Sasha Fierce and stuff like when she does cheer because she likes to go on the stage and she can cheer and do crazy things and give like all these facials and emotion on a stage in front of thousands of people at a competition. But if you were to sit with her one on one and be like, read this story to me and look me in my eyes, like she would kind of be like, or like a group of people like read this book in front of all these people. She's just like, So it's like the intimate one on one. She just doesn't like the conflict. She doesn't like being put on the spot. And I have noticed over the years that like, I'm not gonna say anxiety, that's a big word, but it really bothers her.
Mm-hmm.
And so knowing my child and knowing how that could upset her to be on a new team and your group is what's causing everybody to have to be there later and is not getting, and no matter what you do, like it seems like it's not going right. You're frustrated, you're tired, you're hungry, and you're 8. I can see why you will roll your eyes. I probably would have did a little bit more at 8. I would have been like, yo, what the fuck? It's like, no, I probably wouldn't have, like, no, I wouldn't have cussed around my coaches. But like, I just want to release trying to trying to live up to what people think you should do when it comes to raising your kids. So like I felt like in that moment I was torn on how I should react to my kid. Because even though deep down I felt like fuck that, like we don't tolerate disrespect. And the coach was like, y'all, like, it should never be a reason why, like, an athlete should be rolling their eyes at their coach. Like, we don't, we, like, one of our, like, a part of our motto and, like, what we believe in, our creed and stuff, it's like respect. Like, that's a big thing. And we're teaching them respect. So to come in here and disrespect your coach is, like, unacceptable. But then I'm hearing other parents and coaches and they're just like, yo, they're really tired. Like, just be lenient, like, blah, blah. Like, I kind of felt torn because, like, in my heart, I'm like, I know my child. I know she's good at heart. And I just don't feel like in this moment she was being disrespectful. But at the same time, I'm like, well, I don't want to be one of them fucking parents that's like, oh no, my child would never. Like,
Right.
oh, she can't be disrespectful, because it's times where, like I said earlier in this podcast, sis gets spicy. So I'm just like, I don't want to say no that she would never. So I just felt myself trying to figure out how to respond, because a lot of eyes were on me on how I was going to handle the situation. And I just want to release just expectations on mothers. Like, it goes back to what we were talking about on the podcast today. Like, the expectations, the burden, and everything, and the extra added stress of giving a fuck about what you nosy motherfuckers think. Like, we just need to release that. Like, we're all doing the best that we can, especially in these times, like just trying to survive on a day-to-day thing, and just being put under a microscope. I couldn't imagine if I was a celebrity. I couldn't imagine if I was like somebody in the limelight and something was going on with me and my kids, and you're already dealing with the world on your shoulders. So I just want to release that need to not only deal with my insecurities about parenting, but like put up some type of front or persona to outside people on like, oh yeah, I got everything handled. Like, I can handle that perfect. So yeah, that's my release. Like, just do what you can and fuck these other niggas, because I'm down for my niggas. That's it.
um, so my good is I got offered another job, and I'm probably going to accept it because my job is on some bullshit, and this will be a promotion. And I'll be making more money than I've ever made.
Yes, bitch.
Um, I don't really have a bad. I
Which is a
really,
good thing.
I don't really have a bad per se. I do want to release though. I just haven't been feeling like myself lately. Like, just been feeling emotional, not like crying emotional, but just feeling like extra sensitive about certain things, extra irritable about certain things, extra just wanting to just feeling blah kind
Yeah.
of some days. Like, I just haven't been feeling like myself. I haven't been doing my tarot. I haven't been doing my walks. I haven't been doing whatever. And I also want to release people respecting my boundaries, because I feel like I try really hard to accommodate people, and it's maybe small, but I don't like to talk on the phone.
Mhm.
I don't like to talk on the
I
phone.
mean, that's not even made it known.
I mean, I don't mind talking on the phone. I have certain friends that just do not want to text, but it's just like, okay, but what about me though? Like, I always have to talk on the phone with you because you don't want to talk on the phone, but I'm sitting here telling you I don't like to talk on the phone, and at no point do you want to text.
Right.
It's unfair, and so I'd rather just not talk. Like, I can't do it anymore. I'm not apologizing for not answering the phone. If I don't want to answer the phone, I don't want to answer the phone. I don't
Right.
want to talk to you on the phone. I don't want to talk to you on the phone for an hour and a half on Sunday and then talk to you again on Tuesday or Wednesday. My life is actually not that popping, and although you may think your life is popping, it's not to me. And it's no disrespect, but
It's just draining.
if I talk to you for an hour and a half, consider yourself blessed, but please do not call me again for like at least another week. And a week is like the minimum. Like, please
You
don't.
notice I ain't bothered you that time that we was on the phone for like 2 hours. Like, I literally did not fuck with you after that. I was like, I know she is drained from this conversation. Like, all right, bitch, we done had this 2 hour conversation, so I'll holler at y'all when it's time to record a podcast.
That came organically. It's not a you, because we will not talk on the phone for months. Us,
Right.
this is the
This is
we're
our
talking
talking.
on, yes, this is our talking on the phone. So we don't really call each other too much on some hey girl, hey type shit.
Right.
I'm I have a few people in my mind, and if y'all have made it this far on the podcast, you know who the fuck you are. I don't mean no disrespect and no harm, but I don't want to talk on the phone every. My cousin, I'm gonna put this bitch out on
Oh
blast because
no.
I sent her a text message.
Hmm.
I was asking her a question, and she literally called me right back. And I said, well, actually, I'm doing a remote inspection right now. I'm not going to be free. Well, when are
Right.
you going to be free? And it's like, okay,
Just
even
respond to
though
my text, boo.
I was like, I get off at 4, but I'm not going to want to talk on the phone at 4 because I'm literally going to be finished doing this inspection. I want to decompress and have some time to myself. Maybe go check and see how my daughter's doing. I said, so why can't you just text me back? Because I don't like texting. Okay. I haven't talked to the bitch since because I'm done. Because I can't. Because I try to accommodate. And I have more friends that prefer to talk on the phone than those that prefer to text.
Really, that sucks. I think I only have like 2 friends that are like phone people, and when I see a call coming, I'm like, all right, this is gonna be a long call, but like let's
And none
let's
of
get it
them
going.
niggas, and that's the other thing.
They don't prep you
Th-
for it.
3 of these niggas want to be on the phone for an hour is short. An hour is short. I can't be on the phone that long. I can't be on the phone that long. Call me, give me the highlight of whatever you got to give me, and release me.
She said, give her the cliff notes. Fuck that long ass conversation, y'all.
Release me. My best friend is doing really great with this. She's actually texting me a lot more because I'm done. And people take it personally. My ringer is always off.
Oh, for sure.
Unless I'm expecting a phone call, my ringer is off. My fucking do not disturb goes on at a certain time. It does not go off until a certain time.
Don't
And
hit
I'm
me
not
late at
changing
night.
it.
I ain't seen that shit to the morning, honey.
I'm not changing it. So it's like, no, just, I'm not explaining it. Release that shit,
Release
suck
it.
my dick. Release. I'm not fucking talking on the phone no more.
Look, well, on that note, we thank y'all for tuning in as always. If y'all ain't follow, I don't know why y'all haven't followed, but make sure y'all follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the Chatty Patties. If you ain't following us on Instagram, you definitely not gonna know when the fuck we gonna be on Clubhouse. I don't
That
understand
part.
why everybody not on Clubhouse. We have fucking invites that we have available to give to you guys. All you gotta do is DM us in our fucking Instagram, and we'll figure it out on how we can get that invite to you so that you can have this exclusive content, honey. Um, we have our besides on YouTube, if you're watching on YouTube, or you could be listening digitally streaming, we have our website where you can go ahead and get those episodes as well. But yeah, just go ahead and tell a friend and tell a friend. We out here being consistent out this bitch in 2021, honey. So like we giving you podcast consistency again, honey. Here we go. Through a
Gang, gang.
pandemic though. So we appreciate y'all for tuning in, and we'll holler at y'all on the Clubhouse, honey, or next week. Bye,
Bye.
y'all.